You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Bryan.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 162 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We're also on Beyond Pod. Search Wrestling News Source Podcast. We're also on Twitter at WNS Podcast, and for the main site, WN Source.
We're also on Stitcher, searching something about
Something about
Wrestling
some
News Source
stuff.
Podcast. There you go. We're also on Player.fm by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast as well. Really good stuff. So welcome to the show. Got a lot to talk about. Tons of feedback. I'm going to talk about Raw. Got some hot topics for you as well.
Back in the saddle.
I'm trying. Sick. Yeah, I was sick yesterday.
That's
and,
why he's not hyped. Like, he's not saying, that's right.
That's right. Ow.
Ow.
Yeah, no. But we do also have some Q&A for you as well, getting closer to the Elimination Chamber, finding out people who are going to be into the Hall of Fame for this year. Also finding that we're getting closer to WrestleMania, getting really pumped, really excited about that. How you guys doing? You think you guys doing all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm doing pretty good.
Tyler, did you have a fantastic weekend?
Yeah, I
I
had
know
a pretty
you
good
did.
weekend. I did.
Not too bad?
It's not too bad.
Not too
Enough
shabby?
about Tyler. Let's talk about
Yeah,
me.
nothing really important happened to me.
Nothing important happened
Nothing
for
important
Tyler.
happened to me.
Doug, I know the world wants to know, how are you doing? Rocking those awesome glasses.
I'm doing really well.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Awesome.
I got engaged this weekend.
You did?
I'm on top of the world.
Wow. I did not know that.
It's all about me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who's the lucky lady?
You know, some chick.
Some chick I met.
When's the date?
April 18th,
Oh,
2015.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Man, I wish you
Congrats.
would have told us about that. We could have gone out and celebrated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't consider you guys close friends.
Oh,
That's horrible.
all right. Okay. That's, well, you know. Are we at least going to be invited to the wedding?
I'm going to weigh my options.
See how many seats you have available? Okay. Well, I'm glad to know that. But Tyler, on the other hand, how was your weekend?
I got engaged.
Yeah, congratulations.
You're just copying my weekend.
It's
Come
gonna
up with
be
your own weekend.
April 18th, 2015.
Dude, he's trying to steal your thunder here.
Not only is that really lame, it's really weird that you would just copy my
Kind of
weekend.
tacky, don't you
Really
think? Just
tacky.
copying everything you're doing. I bet he went out and celebrated this weekend.
I
too.
know.
There's proof on the internet that I proposed. Where's his proof? He don't like the internet.
We can take Doug's word.
Yeah, Doug's.
He has not lied to
He
us.
don't
A
lie to us.
trustworthy gentleman.
That's right. And how
No.
dare you accuse him of such accusations? In fact, now I'm starting to debate it on if your engagement was in fact an actual engagement, not just.
Well, I copied everything
You know.
he did, so
It's a work. It's what it is. You're working.
I
us.
look up to him.
Like the internet thinks that CM Punk is working all of us. I think that you might be working us as far as your engagement. I think it's
CM Punk is working out because of
it's-
my engagement. Yes.
Oh, so he walked because of your engagement?
Something like
So
that.
you were the
Something like
cause? You were the cause of CM
I
Punk
don't know if
leaving.
it was exactly like that.
Is that what it is? He was so distraught by Daryl being taken off the market that he left, knowing full well that he's dating AJ?
What?
You didn't know that?
He's dating Lita.
No, he's
No,
not.
he's not.
Not anymore?
No. Not for the past, 5 months or so.
Well, he takes crazy chicks.
He does.
But no, I proposed to my girlfriend.
Yay.
Yeah.
Don't lick it.
Don't lick it.
Did she lick the ring?
No.
Good. She's not supposed to.
I tried to throw her off. She didn't. She told me all her thought process afterwards. It's like, I thought maybe it would be today, but it was like you were calm the whole day, so that threw me off. Which I was nervous as hell on the inside, but I think the key to me not being nervous in front of her was like just being goofy.
Was the line that I sent you. Yeah.
Yeah, that helped.
Do you like
We
it? Put a
took
ring on.
pictures, and 1:30, the lady that took pictures went to a park, and took the pictures. My sister was there at 1:30, and our parents were there. Well, they hid the parents somewhere, and we got there at 2. And they also hid my ring. And
the parents could have at least made an attempt to hide.
Hiding on the side of the house.
yeah,
I'm just making fun of whoever posted that.
Yeah.
that's all I left. But nah. Also fumbled because we practiced before, and I told them where to put the ring, but they put it somewhere else. And then I was like, "Holy shit!" But it worked out.
Now, what would have been your plan had you not been able to find the ring? Like, what if you were just like had to just casually walk around, and she was like, "What are you doing?"
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Well, it's a good thing that you found it. Very happy for you. Congratulations. Look forward to the wedding.
You.
Doug,
And
I look forward to attending yours as well. I hope that they're nearby and within a reasonable time difference, and not at the same time, because that's going to make things really difficult.
Mine's going to be earlier.
Oh, okay.
And better.
Okay, cool. Will there be booze at the reception?
No.
No?
Oh, booze, like with a Z-E.
I thought, what do you think?
I thought you were like
boobs.
B-O-O-S.
There'll be
Booze.
like a titty buffet at your reception is what I'm expecting, Doug.
Just to let you know, these fine gentlemen next to me are going to be my groomsmen.
I never agreed to that.
I'm honored.
I've never been officially asked. It's just expected, I guess.
Okay, Daniel,
What's up?
do you want to be one of my groomsmen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Whatevs.
I mean, I'm not getting best man, so, I guess I'll take a groomsman. See how it is. I play matchmaker for
Who
you.
is best man, Noah?
Noah.
Noah.
That's fitting.
I guess.
We've been friends since elementary.
I mean, I was the matchmaker for these two, but, that's how
Be
it
the
goes.
maid of honor.
Yeah, but Noah's
No, I'm not going to be maid of honor.
but Noah's the only one who's Tyler's everyone's bitch, but Noah is
That's
Tyler's
true.
bitch. So.
Yeah, it works out though.
All right, we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's a happy feeling, and
We'll have to see what kind of bachelor party Noah throws for Tyler.
yeah.
I have low expectations going into this.
I think this is going to be a collab.
I hope all
effort.
this time that he's been unable to attend things because he's been saving up money. I hope
the
that
year.
this is what it leads to. That this is secretly what the money has been going to.
I thought that he was going to be asked to participate in the wedding, and his excuse was going to be that he couldn't because he had to,
Oh man, I can't rent that tux.
I'm going to Dallas Comic Con next year. I gotta save.
Motherfucker, you missed my wedding because of that.
Yep, and we'll just sit there and laugh. So, but yeah, so we're really happy for you, Tyler. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
We are
Thank
very
you.
happy, and I'm very honored to be a groomsman.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. I love y'all both.
Yay.
Y'all are my
I love
good
you.
friends. Y'all are my good friends.
Much love going on here. So really good times. Gonna be looking forward to that. But first, we'll be looking forward to WrestleMania.
WrestleMania
Let's
comes
have
first.
Let's have some fun first.
WrestleMania comes first.
Yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things,
It does. It does. Technically.
whether it be a wedding or WrestleMania, I mean, come on.
Chronologically, it comes first. In our hearts, it comes first.
So we are getting excited about that. As we get closer, we would really like to hear back from all the listeners on if you will be attending WrestleMania and WrestleMania.
We're gonna get
weekend.
our schedule together, and we will tell the whole world or the listeners.
Well, we'll be posting.
We'll post it
throughout the weekend as well.
No, what I
Same.
mean is, before we go to New Orleans, we'll post our schedule.
Sure.
Or not post it, but tell what we're gonna go do.
Sure.
If you want to.
Maybe.
No.
Yeah.
You
don't
want
know
people
who
to
wants,
stalk us?
You don't. I don't know who wants to kill us. So.
I know who does.
Who?
We booted him from the page.
Oh, okay.
Richard Morales.
I wasn't gonna go with that, but okay. Anywho, yeah, we'll definitely let the peeps know where we're gonna be.
I wasn't sure where the joke was going either.
It looked
I was
like
like,
he was. It looked like he was struggling for a name at first. He was like, "I know who."
Think.
Ha 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 ha. Richard. No, anyways. But yeah, as we get closer to WrestleMania, we'll be letting you fine folks know where we'll be, so that way, if you want to.
We won't tell you the hotel we're staying at.
No, not at all. Just
Or where our vehicles.
something tree. How about that? But yeah, so we're gonna.
Well, I've been with us for one night.
Yeah.
Yes, for the first night. Oh, the
He's
first
sleeping
night
with Daniel.
No, I don't think so.
Naked.
He's gonna be sleeping on that cot.
Next to you.
No, on the floor. So, but it's gonna be fun times. We're looking forward to that. But we'll dive on into what our normal show normally goes as. We'll dive into some feedback. A lot of the feedback we got, or some of the feedback we got, pertain to the video that we made for the podcast. I'm glad that we got a lot of talk about that.
I considered it a failed experiment, though.
It wasn't our most viewed.
No, we were significantly down.
Yeah.
Although we didn't have like a big clickbait like title like we normally.
Yeah.
The previous 2 weeks we had a really like.
CM Punk walks out.
Yeah.
Oh, Batista returns.
Right.
Oh, we got Batista versus Lesnar. Oh, what's this? Oh.
But we got like significantly less views that week.
Yeah.
They
Down
want
quite
to
a
see our
bit.
ugly mugs.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of people did want to see it. So, at least the majority of the people who commented, we didn't really see anyone say, "Oh, y'all should never do this again ever."
Right.
So yeah. But the first one that we have comes from Junior Rocks 2012 from YouTube, saying, "I 100% agree with you on the Chris Benoit thing, but I think they will include the commentary on him as far as editing or anything."
I remember talking about Benoit, but I don't remember a conversation about commentary.
I think we said something about
anything
that
else?
they could be edited out.
Yeah, and I think they have said that, or at least it was at least reported that Chris Benoit will be featured in matches, and that commentary will be upheld. But you never know; they could always change that up. But thank you for the feedback. Next one coming to us from Sublethal4, saying the video option seems cool, but you guys should switch it every week, like 1 week with cameras and the other week without. Also, I noticed you guys were up the whole time and didn't notice any chairs, so get some chairs. Actually, we have 2 chairs in here. I'm generally the only one who uses it, just because
I can't. I feel like if I sit down, like we're not bringing enough energy to the show.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have to stand.
Oh, okay. I'm perfectly.
Why do
content
you
sitting
Why
down.
do you usually stand?
Because I don't have a chair.
There's a chair right here.
Do you want a chair? Do you want to use that chair?
No,
you can,
I don't think
you
the mic
can
can
use
reach
that
down
chair.
there.
Oh, it can. It can.
Plus, like, if I'm not making eye contact, it would be weird. Like I feel our
Like,
show.
Tyler, you could sit down on the floor and we could.
I
bend
think
that
we play
microphone
off
down.
each other too, and we like to be. You know,
It would
like,
be. It would feel less conversational if I couldn't like see your face. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and you can gauge their reaction and stuff like that. Another reason why people, I guess, like the video option, because you can see all the things that Tyler's doing when when he's not
Okay.
talking.
I play to the camera a lot,
Yeah.
and also going back to what I said earlier.
That's fine. I was just busting your balls about it.
Yeah.
While we're at the restaurant, and Barry was taking pictures. That was her parents' camera.
Yeah.
But every time they took pictures and everyone else was like eating and stuff, I would just always look up and smile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I played to the camera.
Nothing wrong with that. So yeah, very good stuff. Final bit of feedback we have is coming from the King Trig on YouTube, saying, "I love the new video thing. It was pretty cool." So so thank you very much for that. You know, and I think we're not going to make it a normal thing.
It's a lot of work. Well, not.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a lot of work. It's that we have to have an extra person to hold the camera,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes like Daniel like 8 hours to upload the motherfucker.
I was up until about 3:30 in the morning, making sure that it was getting uploaded to YouTube that
Plus,
night.
Noah kept on trying to pass it on to us.
Yeah. So we'd have to have someone who can, hold it the whole
I don't know if
time.
you have it written on there, but our boy Ali commented on on a post.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
That
What's
he would
up,
like
Ali?
to, yeah. What's up, man?
Things like Ali.
Yes.
He said he would like to see it from now on too. So
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with doing it. I think if we did it a few times a week, I definitely felt like it was an awkward show because I was distracted by the camera, even though I tried to ignore it. And
Yeah.
I felt like we rushed through the show really fast.
Yeah.
I felt like we were like constantly up and we'd gone like through most of the show. It was really odd.
I love it. And another one where last week's show on Raw, at least, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about.
Sure.
And we didn't really have any long debates or anything like that. So I also noticed that we didn't say ums and likes and all that, like our normal routine. We didn't do that as often. So who knows? Maybe
Padding out the show.
Yeah. But I thought it not too bad. I felt like if we had like stationary cameras where we just record and we'd talk and we could just go from there, I feel like that would be a little bit better because we wouldn't have to pay a guy, walk the booth and stuff with our attention spans not being the highest. It definitely does become distracting. So I think for special events, if we have a special guest in the studio, we might do it. Like I know for a fact we're going to do it for WrestleMania predictions since Ben's going to be here. Daryl's already said
live in the studio.
Yes, live in studio. Skype, not phone calls or anything. He will be live in the studio. And Daryl's already said that she would videotape it for us.
I'll be there for pre and post.
Yes, pre and post.
Back to back.
It's going to be really cool. He can carry himself station, not hit on us the whole time. So if you enjoyed the video,
I could use the attention, Ben. You can hit on me.
Okay. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, definitely let us know. Make sure you get those likes and views and all that up. Because we pay attention to the numbers, and our last couple videos had over 2,000 views on YouTube, whereas this one had a little over 500. So you kind of have to go based off of that. But thank you for the feedback. We do appreciate it. Some of the other feedback that we have, goes into regards of the portion. So we'll dive into that later on. But time to go into to Raw. Betty White, special guest host. She was brought out by the Big Show, who we've seen in a couple of weeks. Haven't really seen it in action here lately.
Well, he was all the injury from Lesnar, but he wasn't selling it here. So I mean,
it looks like he's good to come back now. I guess
The only thing he was selling was his hate for Triple H because he did the stare down with Triple H.
Right.
Yeah. Given their recent history, which they should, they'll probably turn into a storyline in like 6 weeks, hoping that everyone had forgotten about.
Really nothing to it. She just says she wants to kick ass, and then
Betty White's
left.
there to kick some ass. Yeah. So I felt like this was an entertaining way to have a ghost. Like some of the ones that they've had in the past, it's drawn.
Talking about what she did later.
Yeah, like she got involved with some of the superstars and divas, and then she came out, said, "Hey, I'm happy to be here." And then at the end, she said, "Hey, thanks for having me. I had a great. Let's kick off the main event. Let's have some fun." I felt like they did a really good job of her stuff and just have her.
I don't really get behind too many guests.
Neither do I. Like I've never really seen the big point coming on.
We talked about this before.
But I felt like they
Hugh
did
Jackman was good.
I felt like they did a really good job with Betty White, just because like she's so lovable, and for her to come out and say I'm ready to get some.
The Golden Girl left.
Yeah, but come out and say something like that, it's kind of like But I felt like they did a pretty good job. How about you guys?
Honestly, I dare for it.
No,
I'm not on the the guest host anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, maybe the kick some ass thing was cute or whatever. Basically, the old Mae Young spot. She's kind of like a pale imitation of Mae, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they first announced it, Betty White's
right.
And I know a lot of people were, posting the picture of Mae Young taking the powerbomb through the table off the stage, saying, "Let's see if Betty White's willing to do this." But Betty White's, I think, 92, 93, something like that. So she's up there as well. But yeah, I mean, it was fine to see. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't overkill. But we do kick things off with the Authority coming out, Randy Orton coming out, and Daniel Bryan coming out. Orton basically saying he's ready to become the face of the WWE. He wants the interviews. He wants his face on the billboards and all that. Like it's like you really.
We talked about a lot of stuff that they're doing these days that are just weird. Like how like the face heel dynamics.
Yeah.
How they're like revealing things to the audience that's real but yet storyline driven, and it's just weird. Like I keep on thinking about that. Like I want to be the face of the company. I want to be the face. Like years ago, you wouldn't say nothing like that, but you would say he's the face of the company without them even saying he's the face. Right during the thing. It's just
they talk about it as if it's an important, like more important than the title or something.
And
like
that's the thing these days. That's what they're doing. So, but in my head, I just keep on thinking. I was like, "That's weird. It's weird."
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it certainly is something that they're doing. They're trying to, like you said, make it more important. Like this is, at the end all be all greatest thing that you can be. It's like, who cares about holding the championship? I want my face on a billboard, which, you know, they've got money. They can just buy a billboard and put their face on it. But yeah, Bryan came out and, you know, cut a promo saying, you know, listen to the people. I've beaten you. You know, I think I should be the face of the company. And the Authority ends up giving Bryan the night off, much to the displeasure of the crowd. It was one of those 15-minute opening segments that they've tended to be doing over the last few weeks or months. But nothing really, I don't really feel like anything was gained from it. You know, you had Orton come out saying, I want to be the Viper of past and stuff like that. And I'm going to give you what you guys need.
Well, I think they tried, what they were trying to accomplish was they were trying to play the Daniel Bryan thing for the Authority, saying that these guys, they really want to see you, so how we're going to play this for Heat is we're going to give you the night off. Like, we're going to shun you all away and you're not going to work tonight. And that's how we're going to piss off the crowd. So I think that's what they were trying to accomplish. But the crowd was way too up its own ass to care about that. They'd rather like do the whole like really forced and half-assed CM Punk chants and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which
has really been to the detriment of Bryan, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if the fans are chanting that during a Daniel Bryan segment, you know, it really doesn't say a lot for the crowd.
It makes you look wishy-washy as a crowd.
Yeah. You know, it's like, oh, these guys will chant for anything. Which by the way, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a video that happened before Raw actually happened where the fans were chanting CM Punk, and Michael Cole and Lawler and JBL were saying, man, this crowd, you know, they don't, you know, these chants don't last very long. Did you happen to see that, Doug?
I did see it.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, I can definitely sympathize with the announce team. I think it's to the detriment of the show. I think it's distracting and it's counterproductive for the crowd. And to be honest, like, the WWE didn't send CM Punk home.
Right.
He even went home. So go to CM Punk's house and chant WWE at him. Tell him you want him back in the WWE.
Right.
Because they want him there. He just doesn't want to be there right now. Now, you can argue, you know, his motives. If I tend to think that he's being a little bitch about it with you. I mean, like, I think, to be honest, I think he's kind of a mark for himself, right? Like, he's kind of like his guys who, like, buys into it. His whole thing is he's a rebellious guy who's going to stand up to management.
Right. And
he kind of, like, buys into his own hype, right? That's fine as a worker, but I'm not, like, you know, I'm not so up his ass that I won't criticize him. You know what I mean? And I think a little bit of I think he probably has a little bit of resentment for Bryan even. I think that, this is, like, the time he chose to do this. Bryan, mega height of all his popularity.
Right.
And Punk kind of used to being that guy, right? And he wasn't happy with his spot on the card, but by no means Punk been shit on. He was going to be in a featured match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And he's just coming off the longest, you know, title reign in 25 years. By no means this guy been mistreated. You don't always get to pick your spot all the fucking time, you fuck me. I mean, I can understand like people like wanting Punk there, but he left.
Yeah.
The WWE didn't send him home. Go chant that at CM Punk. I mean, and I Angle, then, like, I think it's well played, but if it's not, then it's like, I mean, if this is their new way of trying to work, then great. But I don't think it is, because not everyone in the arena is tuned in as people who are listening to, like, podcasts on the internet about wrestling. Some people this is lost on. They just don't know why he's not there, to be honest. And an Angle, which I don't think it is, because how are they capitalizing off this? Because they're not speaking about him on air. It's not like they're not can't capitalize on an angle that's not, like, mentioned. You know what I mean? Like,
articles, he's not being mentioned, like that ROH.
Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, I like guys like, he has not been, like, misshot one of the greatest accolades he could get by being the longest reigning champ of the past 20 odds. So he was going to be in a feature at WrestleMania. I'm sorry that it wasn't the one that you wanted. You don't always get to pick your spot on the card. I mean, that's kind of a crybaby. This is some shots of Shawn Michaels.
You don't get to Undertaker does.
Right. But, I mean, like, but that's Taker's gimmick. That's what they've worked out for.
Yeah.
That's his match, and it's because they want him to. I mean, I just think it's kind of like it's the Mike home thing. People weren't like that dude was a dick and he was disruptive in the locker room and like and apparently London.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care as a fan that he's to be around in the back, but I think it is a little just for fans to be chanting CM Punk whenever he's the one that takes ball home, and it's really at the expense of Bryan.
Yeah.
And I think it's almost maybe a little bit if it's a shoot, I think it's almost Bryan plays into it because that's what he was.
And going back into what you said about the crowd, not all of them are as into as others. It's like some of the people who comment on wrestling pages today. Where's Jeff Hardy? Wish Jeff Hardy would return. I'm like, he's over on TNT. Are you not aware? Not follow him like you should. You is and
Some people are trolls.
Well,
yeah.
People think that because of the people that you personally interact with on the internet or the places that you go personally, like you're a plugged-in wrestling fan, so you go to places that are for plugged-in wrestling fans. That's not always the majority of the fans out there. Just because you're choosing to go places, interact with people who are as plugged, there's a whole wider out there that you probably don't interact with, who probably don't know what's going on.
It's one of those things, like, a few times before, and I'm going to continue to mention it as long as it's relevant. Whenever Rob was announced that he was in the bank, and I saw a tweet response that he did, where have you been the last few years? And he responded, I've been over it. Never mind.
Right.
It's like if you really care about this person, you're going to follow their career. So if you don't know that they're over at TNA,
it's as easy as like following Rob Van Dam on Twitter. You would know.
Yeah, it's
That's
like, hey,
odd,
check
right?
out my match tonight on Impact or something, And it's just, I don't know. Sometimes that part just drives me nuts. But I don't really remember
There's a
where I was
lot
going
more
with that.
people
But
than you think who do not like watch that.
Yeah.
Or they know nothing of it. Hey, where's Kurt Angle?
I mean, you guys weigh in. Like I talked probably way too long about Punk specifically the situation. Speak about. Do you think it's cool that he could? Do you think that that's something someone should be able to get away with?
I don't know all the details of what went home. If what they said was correctly, if he took his ball and went home because he's mad because he didn't get what he wanted or whatever. There's other things. They said something about concussion or something.
Yeah, I mean that's all like unsubstantiated there, right? We don't really know what that all.
Yeah,
but I mean,
like I'm saying, like if the story is that he didn't get the spot that he wanted at Mania and that's why he's home, don't re-sign your contract. That's perfectly fine. Like I think that's saying,
but
I'm not
walk
coming.
out.
Yeah, I'm not coming back because I'm not treated the way or I'm not in the spot.
6 more months? Or?
Yeah, I'm in July.
yeah.
I mean, like I think that's fine. But do you think it's cool? Do you think that first of all, I don't see how anyone could argue that he doesn't have a good spot in the company. He's not as featured as he was, but
But yeah, but there's times that people go through that phase though.
right. You can't
So
be.
you can't always be featured because there's other guys they want to bring up and do stuff right there.
Well,
So you're gonna be pushed
see-
aside for a little bit.
I think you could argue that Cena's always featured, but Cena's
Yeah.
there. That's a different level right there. I mean, as far as stardom, I mean,
Yeah. I feel it. I would have to know what happened backstage to make him want to leave. Because all you hear are reports. Nothing's ever fully confirmed as far as what's going on.
well, sure, everything we're saying is pure speculation.
Yeah. I mean, he's contractually obligated to be with the WWE until July
something
or somewhere around there, like Money in the Bank. I think he signed that contract extension. It's just one of those things. Like it's good business just to finish out your contract, and then you can, give them the bird and say, all right, I'm out of here.
But
Right.
if that's the case and you walk out, what can they do to you? I mean, like, what can they? Because that's pretty bad, though. They can fire you, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, they
Yeah,
could
but,
easily
like-
fire him.
But
Well,
But the talk is that
I don't necessarily understand how their contracts run because they're independent contractors.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily understand. All I know is that he's
I think it's one of those, you show up and you do work and you get paid.
right.
So basically he's not showing up, so he's not going to get paid. But, there's talks that, he's financially stable. He didn't blow any of his money. So he's fine regardless.
Right.
But I think the big talk is that, Vince is somewhat of a friend of his. Like I heard in an interview where, Punk had said that he actually is, pretty good friends with Vince, and they'll text each other at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, since neither of them apparently sleep. Just like, hey, what do you think about this? And blah, blah, blah. They'll just talk. So, Vince is the one that's trying to bring him back, whereas apparently, according to reports, Triple H, not so much. He's like, fine, let him leave. Don't let him come back.
That's a good point. Not to cut you off, but that's a good point of compare and contrast, because people will shit on Triple H, and me too. We'll shit on Triple H for like his ego and the way he wants to be, the way he feels like he should be represented on the card, right?
Yeah.
But so Triple H doesn't want a job to certain people. Triple H wants a certain spot on the card.
Yeah.
People fucking hate on him for that, and rightfully so. I do the same thing. But CM Punk does it, and they're like, "Oh, this folk hero is being held down again." Like, come on, man, come on.
Let him be the main guy. Right. Well, someone's gonna have to lose to him. Someone's gonna have to job to him.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, it's just until we get the full facts.
Hypothetical. I'm not gonna let you weasel out of this. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Hypothetical situation is he didn't like his storyline,
right?
And he didn't like his spot on the card at Mania.
And so he took his ball. Yeah, he said, "Screw it, I'm going home."
That's cool or not cool?
It's not cool.
It's unprofessional.
Right.
If he said, "Look, I'm unhappy. Can we do something to fix it?" If they say no, whatever. And and I've heard talks from Mick Foley where he's talked to CM Punk, and Punk has said, if I can't do it 100%, I'm just not going to do it.
Well,
and so that's just him being the way that he is. He wants to go out and give it all or nothing, and he's choosing nothing.
Well, not being able to go 100% physically because of an injury or just being worn down physically is one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But letting your perception of your spot on the card dictate your performance, that's not acceptable to me. Like you're saying I can't give it 100%, then I'm not going to do it is cool if you physically can't. But if you're saying it's not 100% just because it's not the spot you want to be in, do your spot at 100%. You know what I mean?
And, if the reports are that he had a concussion or they were worried about a concussion, and he has been banged up over the past few months. If that's the case, and he's like, dude, I can't go out there. Like, I am banged up. I need to take a break. If that's the case,
totally acceptable.
Totally fine. Saying, look, I need some time off, and you guys are forcing me to go out there. Like, if that's the case, I understand. But if it's, I'm banged up, but I still want to keep going until at least my contract is up, and then maybe take 6 months off, maybe take, a year or whatever and come back, that's a different thing. It like I said, it all pertains to what actually happened that we don't know.
Right.
So that's the hardest thing right now.
Yeah.
Is until someone comes out and says, all right, look, here's what happened backstage. Here's who said what, because you're getting reports of anonymous letters calling Punk a bitch. You're getting anonymous reports that Triple H doesn't want him back, but Vince does. You're getting reports that it was a concussion, one that he was injured, one that he was unhappy with the storyline. It's just there's so many things going on out there,
and it will never be confirmed to us.
Yeah. It's until we get the
the best we'll ever get out of it is it was a shoot or it was a work. It will know if it was a work. You'll know eventually.
Yeah.
And if not, you won't. I mean, you'll know that too eventually.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, we'll never know.
I mean, but I will say one thing as far as his kind of gimmick is that he bucks authority. If this was a work, they'll never be able to pull that again with him because that's twice that they did that. I'm gonna go home thing,
Yeah.
but they'll never ever be able to pull that with him again because people will never buy it again if they do it.
They're not buying it now.
Right.
So. And what makes me think that it's not a work is that they're not making any mention of him.
And he's radio silent too.
Yeah, he hasn't.
And plus, they changed I know they changed storylines pretty quickly.
Yeah, changed
WWE, but it's like,
storylines.
it was going to be him and Kane.
Yeah. So
now it's Daniel Bryan and Kane.
yeah, you see the storyline focus changing. You see
talks
pictures
about
being
Triple H
taken.
and
Yeah, you see
CM
pictures
Punk.
being taken off of apps. You
Yeah.
see features, articles that he's not mentioned in. It's sort of like they're just cutting
Breaking
them
news,
off.
they pull every CM Punk toy. Not just joking.
Hey, I mean, you never know. They're still selling his merchandise at the moment. But that could just be for their own revenue because they're like, well, you know,
If
whatever.
they
At least
sell-
we'll get some cash.
They
out
sell
of
the
this.
merch. They still sell the merch at the.
At the last report that I got, yeah, from
It's still on the website.
yeah, it's still on the website. It's still being sold at stuff.
They
so.
have the right to do that. If
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy took his
Yeah.
ball and went home, they have the right to say, okay, we're not gonna let him disrupt all our shit. We're gonna take him off of everything, right? They have the right to take a measure to not have him being disruptive to their product.
Yeah. They're like,
That
we'll,
has to be like
we'll
a-
sell you the shirt, but the money's going to us.
Right.
It's like not to work. That's like a consequence. If you took your ball and went home, so we're gonna pull you from all this stuff. We're not gonna mention you.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do that. So that's a consequence.
And I've been following Mick Foley pretty closely the past few weeks about, you know, some of the stuff that he's been saying. And one of the things that he said was like, dude, no matter what you feel, just come back and at least work Mania. You know, just get, you know, just you owe it to the fans. Don't you know, leave the WWE and just completely ruin it for your fans. Like, come back, put on a 5-star match that you want to do. You know, you want to go 100% into the matchup, and you know, don't let the title be the significance of your match. You know, the title match can go on last, but don't let it be the main event. You know, or the one that stole the show. And you also get that nice little, you know, that WrestleMania paycheck, and then you can leave or something like that. But you know, you owe it to your fans to give them that one last, you know, here it is. You know, this is me doing my match.
And if he doesn't come back or whatever, I want him do an MMA fight with Jason David Frank. I'm just saying that.
All right. So, I don't know.
I just feel like I just feel like the fans are misguided in their cheering for Punk, and like he left.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine to say, hey, we want Punk back,
Right.
but it's his fault for leaving. You know, he's the one who decided to leave. Now, like
And
we said,
honestly, you're in basically, and it's really and truly at the expense of Daniel Bryan right now.
yeah, because you're hurting his segments. You know, because he's going to be getting chokeslammed by Kane.
Because
he's going to be in a match with Kane coming up, and
Because the fans are torn between which rebellious chant that they want to.
do we want to chant JBL? Do we want to chant Randy Savage? Do we want to chant CM Punk? Do we want to chant
Jerry Lawler?
Yeah, you know, like it's not a very smart crowd if
Meow?
you're doing stuff like that. What?
And we don't mean that in the smarky sense, which means you're not very intelligent.
So yeah.
I said meow.
Oh God. So anyways, I don't know. It's just I'm gonna eat. Jeez. But we do have the very first matchup.
Those are gross.
These are delicious.
I hate those.
I love these.
I just
Dude,
hate some chocolate. I can't eat them.
If we could get sponsors from Andy's Mints, that would be amazing. Lifetime supply of Andy's Mints.
Hells yeah.
This podcast,
I don't like them.
the podcast, all interviews, all special
I
segments will
feel
be
weird
brought to
saying
you
so much candy now.
Andy's Mints.
Dude, I bought a shitload of candy and now I like ate a lot of it and I'm like, ooh.
I am not going to
weird.
be happily sponsored by Andy's Mints.
I will.
I don't like
You
them.
don't have to eat
I
them.
don't like mints.
You can be
don't like
sponsored
mint
by
chocolate.
Handy's Mints.
The preferred mint of the WNS podcast.
Handy's Mints.
Hand these mints over to me.
Andy's nuts.
Yeah. So the first matchup we got to see Bray Wyatt, or the Wyatt family, I should say, going up against Cody Rhodes, Goldust, and Rey Mysterio. And Cody Rhodes sporting a knee brace from his lovely moonsault off the top of the cage. From the way it looked, it looked like it was a hand injury from the moonsault, but it turned out to be his knee. I felt like this match was. It was all right, and then it really picked up there towards the end. Once everything broke down, they do their traditional breakdown. Everything spills to the outside, and then the finish comes. And I felt the Sister Abigail from Bray to Rey Mysterio was awesome. What did you guys think about it?
It was totally awesome.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
Very good stuff.
I caught myself like, okay, you're
He
definitely
did
a
it
fan.
so smoothly.
Yeah.
Like,
And quick.
right.
Like,
I feel like I'm a little kid plus a fan because when that happened and he did that, I started jumping up and down. I was pumped.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I don't get too excited over certain stuff, but that was definitely one of the moments that I got excited about. I was like, oh, dude, that was awesome. But
The more I see of Bray in the ring, the more I like him.
mm-hmm.
He's really good, y'all. I mean, I still like Luke Harper a lot. I don't know that I think that Bray's. They're both really good. I mean, but the more I see of Bray like work, the more I like him.
Yeah,
He's pretty good.
and it was just
Yeah,
it was really entertaining. It was a good start to Raw.
I'm gonna do a little plug here.
Okay, do your plug.
I think this is a Monday Night Draw, right? Is John working on that, or
Yes.
is that a sketch or a commission?
Yeah, no, he's doing his Monday Night Draw.
Check out our friend John Guerra over Nightmare Pro Wrestling.
Is he on the site now? What is that? I saw him like in the group.
His Monday Night Draw is now going to be featured on Wrestling News Source.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so really
Is
cool.
currently or is in the works?
It is now.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, you can check all that stuff out. Like I said, you could check out nightmareprowrestling.com, or if it's going to be on Wrestling News Source, and you
Yeah.
can check that out too.
on the
And,
main page.
Yeah, he does that every Monday.
Yeah, it's going to be doing a
And
sketch of us.
Yeah, sketch. He's also doing a sketch of us. Yeah, this is his favorite moment for Monday Night Raw, and he does great work. And so check it out.
Definitely.
The Sister Abigail to Rey Mysterio.
Yep, absolutely. So really good stuff. And whenever
Oh, I didn't see that one. Is it up?
It's not. Well, he didn't show it fully. He showed what's it called, the early stages.
Pencil
of it.
sketching.
Pencil sketches of it.
yeah,
So
Gotcha. Yeah, man, I haven't been on the internet that much this week.
but he does really good stuff. He's, like I said, he's doing a commission work of us,
Yeah.
the three of us, and once it gets done, it will be available at his website for purchase for those who are who would be interested in having a little artwork with us. I don't know why, but you never know. So there you go.
We're pretty
So
cool.
so back,
We'll buy it.
yeah.
We'll buy it. Yeah,
Well, I'm getting one as the payment for the commission, but
I'll still buy one.
yeah, y'all can buy one. So it's gonna be really cool. Next up, we got a backstage promo segment with the Shield being interviewed. What are y'all doing?
Shadow boxing your head.
Okay.
I'm boxing your ears, son.
Ow! 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 So basically,
Smart ass.
Roman Reigns basically bringing up the fact that Dean Ambrose hasn't defended his United States Championship in quite some time, and so
Well, wait, no. I thought it was what's her name who brought it up first.
Renee,
Yeah.
she did,
Yeah.
and I noticed one thing that I forgot where I saw it. It might have been YouTube, but Renee brought up something that Fandango had said on Main Event, where he was like, "Oh, I've got a plan up my sleeve," and she was like, "Well, technically, you're not wearing a sleeve." And he's like, "Shh." That's why. Excuse me. He's like, "That's why you're a bad journal," or something like that. And she's like,
Journal?
"Yeah, he's supposed to be a journalist or something." He's like, "That's what makes
Bad
you a
journal.
poor journal or something."
She's really good at what she does. I really like her a lot, and she's cute. So.
Not bad to look at. But yeah, so Dean Ambrose issues, excuse me, an open challenge.
He's got this.
You guys carry it. I'm choking.
Are you gonna die?
Was it Roman Reigns says something to him?
He was like, "Oh, is that the kind of champ you want to be, or whatever?" Or he was like, he was kind of busting his balls about it, and Ambrose was like, "Oh, it's all the paperwork that you have to fill out for the title shot."
Like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he's like, "What kind of champ you want to be, bro? Whatever, blah blah blah." And he was like, "Yeah, so I'll show you assholes. I'm gonna have an open challenge tonight for the title." Apparently, that paperwork can clear really fast in comparison to the other paperwork.
You know, it was kind of obvious of who it was going to be because they said Mark Henry was returning tonight, and I was like, what are they going to do with him? And I was like, yeah, it has to be the challenger.
That's not what I was thinking, but it wasn't that obvious to me, or I just didn't think of it. I don't know.
I was thinking it was going to be Roman Reigns.
And also he called Renee like baby doll, like real like hunk sexy. He was like,
Don't worry,
baby doll.
Baby doll.
Oh,
I bet the chicks are gonna be into him like they were into The Rock.
absolutely.
Hop on my lap.
Baby doll.
Baby doll.
Don't worry. Believe in the Shield. So anyways, next matchup we got to see Fandango going up against Santino with Emma ringside and Summer Rae ringside, and nothing developing from that. So Emma's debut being absolutely amazing and astounding and incredible. She's done so much.
She got the moves.
But it was a short matchup.
Me and Tyler are dinner dance.
Yeah.
Haha. Now you should have watched the video last week.
And Miz came out and he was unhappy again.
That's annoying.
It is. I don't like it.
That's his new gimmick. Guy who's not happy with his spot on the card. Same gimmick as like 5 other guys.
Ziggler did it.
Well, I think they're gonna try to put Miz and Ziggler together.
Ugh.
Is anybody interested in Miz Ziggler
No.
as a team?
A little bit.
Are they just trying to do Awesome Truth 2.0?
Oh, they were not happy with their spots in the card too.
Yeah.
Mizzler.
Do you remember when we thought that was going to be like a thing when they had the cage and everything?
Yeah.
Not much of a thing.
Not much of a thing at all. And then it led to a no contest vote or a no confidence vote
Right.
for Triple H. Why don't they just do that again? So, what else?
I don't know. What was that? What else did Miss say? I don't know. What is?
He said,
I
really?
rolled my eyes and I was like, okay.
Remember when
I guess in this
they were kind of like top heels at that time. That's so odd to think about Miz and R-Truth being like top heels for a hot minute.
Those two guys made the WWE backroom locker room, they were very unhappy and they felt unsafe.
Right.
It's sad, but it's like the stuff I talked about earlier, what's working these days and what's going on these days. That's another thing that's going on these days. It's like, it's the norm, I guess, that they're doing all this stuff. It's this angle. It's the new reality angle. It's like, it's annoying, I think.
And like, how can it work if you do it for like so many people? Like, it's weird.
I guess they're thinking, oh yeah, CM Punk set the way because he did it. He did this, and like maybe we can do it. Like, no.
Yeah, it's weird.
Very strange.
Daniel left. He walked out.
Yeah, Daniel left.
We're stalling for time.
Yeah. So, what's the next match?
I don't know. Where is he going?
He's probably get some more water. Let me fart on his mic.
What a baby.
Sheamus and Christian.
I need some water.
Versus the Real Americans. So yeah,
we're making fun of you if you listen back to the show later.
That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
I had to step
we're
outside and get
past
some
the
water.
Fandango and Santino stuff now.
Why didn't you delete it?
We're down to questions now.
Now we're down to questions.
Oh, awesome! Time for the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions are answered. Hey, wait a second. Well, take it away.
I already said Sheamus and Christian versus the Real Americans.
Okay.
I like what they keep on doing with Cesaro and stuff, and they kind of like pushing or like Swagger doesn't go first. Swagger doesn't do this. It's Cesaro's the man. Cesaro's going to do it. So it's Cesaro and Sheamus. Hoo-wee, man. I like that match. I just want a one-on-one match, but just between those two.
Yeah.
Tag team match. But I enjoyed the match though.
I thought it was an excellent match. I thought I felt like 3 out of the 4 people involved in this match did an excellent job, and Jack Swagger was there too.
Oh man, no, I love that Cesaro swing on Christian. He went far when he let him go, man.
Yeah.
Woo! I loved it.
I can't imagine being the recipient of that.
He didn't even do that. He just let his arms go, and
Yeah.
he was like Rey Mysterio pretty much.
Because if you're gonna count the revolutions on the swing, like pick a fixed spot, and every time his
my
head
gosh,
passes,
dude.
then
I
you
feel
count
like,
once.
I feel like they're trying to do seconds now.
Right.
Like they're trying to count just seconds. Instead
Maybe
of
that's what it is. Maybe half the crowd is confused. You pick a fixed
I
spot.
think all of the crowd is confused and
Right.
they're just chanting along
Right.
and they're just being idiots.
I feel like we rag on the crowd a lot, but it feels like it's
well
deserved.
deserved.
Right.
Very well
yes.
deserved. So, but my God,
People don't know how to fucking act at wrestling shows, right?
Yeah.
that's why we need to do that video. I'm telling you,
Fan etiquette.
fan etiquette. Yes, it'll be #1 hit. But my goodness, the interactions between Sheamus and Cesaro. Good God, those uppercuts were awesome. I felt like they broke out of the norm on that one. And, they were like, okay, you can hit me. All right, you hit me hard, I'll hit you back. And it was just sort of, going back and forth. And I love the intensity from Sheamus whenever he got knocked into that corner. He was like, come on and hit me, you know, like, and it was just really good stuff.
Fight experience.
Yeah, just really good, really enjoyable. It was it was another one of those things where, like, Christian, we've talked about him in the past, being at live shows, you know, you get a newfound respect for his timing and all that. Everywhere that he needed to be, he was there at just the right moment. Like, you know, he hasn't really lost a step on that. He still has great timing. You know,
he needs shorter hair.
The one thing that bothers me about Christian is
his hair.
Why? No.
That he doesn't have a blue dot in his face?
No. They were playing off that this week, too, when he has on the screen. It's like, my mom thinks
my mom thinks I have a good face.
Right. But when he, like, jumps all the way over to the ground just to slap the guy in the face, like, that's so weird. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
what's the psychology of that? You don't have any momentum because you stop it when you hit the ground. So you're basically just, I don't just slap the guy in the face.
Some people think it's cool. I don't understand why else he does it.
Some people do.
Check this out.
It's a little odd.
Oh, I hurt my knees, but then I'm gonna slap you in the face.
It's not like a huge thing. It's just a little like, why do you do that?
Yeah, we'll ask him.
But
Christian, why do you do that?
Why you no run? But Sheamus and Christian do end up getting the victory over the Real Americans, and once again, Zeb Coulter was unhappy with the results. And Cesaro definitely getting a very positive crowd reaction.
He's going to be a major babyface.
Yeah, it's only a matter.
You can't
of
even
time.
deny it.
I don't know when this part was. I don't see it on here, but there was a backstage segment. I don't know if it's now or later on during the show where they talked to Cena and all that stuff, and you know they're pushing the next generation, or the next, or not next generation, but you know the next
wave,
and all that stuff, and like the Shield, the Wyatts, Cesaro and Bryan. I'm here if you want, you know, like you want some, come get some. But that was cool though. It's like you want to be the next guy, come, you have to go through me and all that stuff. But it's like
if you want to be the next guy,
I think they're gonna.
I'm the one you have to dethrone.
To mention those guys and stuff like that, because for a while, like, you know, Cesaro gets good praise in his matches, but there wasn't like no mention of like stuff or like he's gonna like elevate or whatever. But
yeah.
And that's proof, you know. John Cena, you know, endorsing.
Saying, hey, these are some of the guys you need to be looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a positive sign for...
'Cause I would love to see a match one-on-one. Cena and... Well, they did that before, huh? No, not one-on-one.
Yeah.
They have on SmackDown? Because I know that one where he threw him in the air and did the European uppercut, but that wasn't
a one-on-one,
did it on Raw
the next
That
week.
wasn't a one-on-one.
Right. Yeah, I think they were both tag matches. I don't recall though. But yeah, Cesaro is definitely going to be a guy to be looking for the next couple of years.
Hells yeah.
He's definitely going to be a top player. Next matchup, we got to see Alberto Del Rio going up against Dolph Ziggler. Very short Ziggler. Victor Ziggler. It was a very short matchup. Only lasted about 2 or 3 minutes.
Hi, Victor.
What did it do? Del Rio ends up getting the victory after the matchup. He slaps on the arm breaker, which prompts Batista to come out for whatever reason and attack Del Rio, put him through a table, and, you know.
Whoa, Dave. Things have changed since you've been here.
Yeah, we're
You
PG
don't need to do
now.
that.
We're PG now. It's all kind
Hey,
of crazy.
man, I brought you back because it's good for business. Best for business.
So why do we care to see these guys on pay-per-view? Because he's already powerbombed his ass like 87 weeks in a row.
Unless Del Rio's getting the win.
He's not.
He is not, but there is other...
When is this contract up?
Who?
Del Rio.
Sometime this year, I think. But, yeah, I think this is mostly just, hey, let's get Batista in a matchup and shake some of that ring rust that he had from the Rumble. So, other than that...
Del Rio is to Batista what Big Show is to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Just, hey.
Got to feed him. Enough of a name to feed him, set him up for the next thing.
Yeah.
Which was weird because Lesnar left.
Brock. Oh, yeah.
So,
Brock Lesnar versus Batista.
But yeah, Del Rio versus Batista has been announced for the Elimination Chamber. Next up, we got this. No, I'm not going to do that. Next up, we got to find out who the next Hall of Fame inductee was, and it's going to be Lita.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't really have a big problem with it. I know there are a lot of people who would say, you know, there are a lot of other women that they could have put in before Lita.
When did CM Punk and Lita break up?
I don't think before the new year.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while. Getting to know, man.
I don't know shit.
Yeah, apparently. Nah.
You don't know shit about shit.
And you call yourself a podcast co-host.
Hey, man, I claim not to be a know-it-all. So
That's very true. But I'm totally fine with Lita being inducted in the Hall of Fame. I think for the time that she had in the WWE, she did a lot of good.
yeah,
Still remembered by a lot of people.
I
so
think what Trish would induct her. You think?
that would be my guess. Yeah.
Not Jeff Hardy.
No, they're gonna have AJ.
Not AJ.
Totally have AJ do it.
Awkward.
So that's why
Like,
I didn't
hey,
get
remember-
that joke.
Remember whenever I met you in the mall and I cried over meeting you because I was so happy? Yeah, now I'm dating your ex-boyfriend.
I had sex with him first.
Or is it second?
No, well, Lita went first.
Yeah. Just like Lita was in the WWE first.
Ayo.
So, Lita, thoughts on Hall of Fame?
Lita, thoughts
well,
on CM Punk?
My stance is to not get all torn up about the WWE Hall of Fame because it doesn't mean jack shit, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much.
And but if you're gonna look at
About
it,
as relevant as the TNA Hall of Fame.
it's way more relevant than TNA
More
Hall of-
prestigious, at least.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, it's an
Oh,
honor.
right.
Don't get me wrong, but there's no official like criteria.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess if you're really going to think about it, though, I mean, Lita's as important to the WWE's women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who's more important than her in WWE's women other than Trish?
Me.
Yeah.
At least in the modern era, right? You got your Mae Youngs and you got your Fabulous Moolas, but they're already in, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so
I
who's.
saw one name that was thrown on would be Medusa.
Yeah, but she was not as
We need
important.
Jacqueline and Ivory and
She wasn't as important, though, you know?
Mhm.
I don't really have a problem with it.
Yeah.
No, I
Molly
don't
Holly,
either. Molly Holly.
I like Molly Holly.
Mickey James.
Yeah, Mickey's probably on the outs with them, though, because she went to TNA.
Yeah, that's true. Well, no, because she showed up after she left TNA. She showed up at the WWE Performance Center.
Yeah, they did an
not
article.
so long ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but they didn't put her on camera. Did they?
no, they did
They
an
took a
article
picture of
over.
her.
her.
Oh, okay.
They're like,
Took a
hey,
picture over there.
Guess who was here at the?
But that's
Performance Center?"
after she left TNA, though, right? They didn't do it while she was in TNA.
No, not at all. So, but you never know. So it'll be like, although her time in WWE was short-lived, Mickey James provided a great career that lasted, 12
Blah,
years.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, blah 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 blah.
So you think it's Trish, then Mickey, then Lita? Is that what you're saying in order of
No,
importance?
not at all. I was just throwing out
Another
names.
name.
Yeah, other names that you could possibly throw in there. So
Jazz.
yeah, actually, Jazz is retiring this year. She's been working in Louisiana.
Yeah, Rodney Mack and her.
Yeah. So for
But I
those
mean,
in the Louisiana area, go and check that out.
I mean, as far as importance to the modern era of WWE women's wrestling, then she's as good of a candidate as anyone, really.
Yeah, and you have to think, wasn't her and Trish's match the main event of Raw one week?
Mm-hmm.
When that would,
It was
I
like
mean,
the one time
for that to happen is a pretty big deal.
Right.
So, that's gotta say something.
in this sexist industry.
Yeah. Despite your bra and panty matches, and Lita did a lot of stuff that
Puppies.
that the divas nowadays don't do. How many of them are doing moonsaults aside from Eve, who's no longer with the WWE?
Tyler's pointing to himself.
Yeah, he is a diva. So
I'm a diva.
So yeah,
I'm a
congratulations
hustler.
to Lita. It would be really cool to see
diva
it.
is the definition of an ape bear. Of an ape bear. of an ape bear. No, diva is the. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say it's being reported that the Hall of Fame ceremony is going to be shown on the network, so it'll give you something to watch the night before WrestleMania. As we'll be, what show will we be at? Ring of Honor.
What night? Saturday. We'll be at Dragon
Saturday.
Gate.
Dragon
USA.
Gate. There you go. So in case you are wondering where we'll be, we will not be at the Hall of Fame ceremony. We will instead be watching Dragon Gate.
Hells yeah.
Hells yeah. So next up, we got to see Betty White have a tea party with the New Age Outlaws because they were suspicious that the Divas were going to try and prank her in some form or fashion. But instead, they were going to try and prank her by pouring saline in her tea to give her...
Cheesy
named it-
stuff from
Saline.
DX.
They said specifically that saline.
Well, no, but it was, it was in an eye drop.
What is saline?
It's basically,
Makes you shit yourself.
I mean,
It's
it's
like a laxative,
huh?
sort of. Yeah. I don't know. All I know is that they did it in Wedding Crashers, and that's what gave Bradley Cooper the messed up stomach.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Which is really crazy going back and watching that movie, because I did not know that was Bradley Cooper until I saw it on TV one day, and I was like, holy crap, that's Bradley Cooper. Which is really cool.
Holy crap, that's Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, it's Rocket Raccoon.
Bradley Cooper's Rocket Raccoon?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it Vin Diesel Groot?
Yeah.
Yes. And Batista's Drax.
Damn. And Chris Pratt is Star-Lord.
Okay. But yeah, so Betty White ends up switching
How do you spell saline?
Saline, I believe. Saline?
Saliva.
Saliva. Now on tour.
No.
Did you hear that Tool's coming to Houston?
I'm not a Tool fan.
Okay.
Not big on the Tool myself.
Okay. Well, just to let y'all know. For those who are listening and might be in the Houston area, Tool is coming back to Houston. Also coming to Houston this weekend, Booker T's Reality of Wrestling
I see what
with
you did.
special guest, big sexy Kevin Nash.
The big sexy tour is coming through Houston.
Tickets are on sale now, and they are selling out. So you got to go and get yours today.
Get on the big sexy tour.
I think if you go on their website and you use the promo code CUBE, KUBE, you get $1 off your ticket.
If you type in pube,
No,
what would you get?
You get nothing.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you do it in Google, you'll probably get a lot of images you don't really want to see. But anyways.
We're still stalling because he's looking up.
Oh, we don't have to stall.
Oh, stuff for sailing.
You can just
No. I want to hear more about these pubes.
tell us, Tyler, what kind of pubes do you like looking at?
If you type in pube,
P-U-B-E, pube, or is it pubes? Like plural or just singular? Like one pube, like one single
okay,
hair?
it's not possible to have one pube. You got to have more than one.
I mean, if you're careful enough.
Be careful. I shave pretty well, but there's that one spot that I miss every time.
So it's on the nutsack, right?
Right on the taint.
So one pube or pubes?
That's one pube.
One pube.
I'm trying to
Okay, one
get
hair.
a long.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think you're right about the saline thing.
Okay.
In medicine, saline, also saline solution, is a general phrase referring to a sterile solution of sodium chloride, more
Yeah,
commonly
like
known as
salt water.
Everybody's getting learned.
in water.
Yeah.
But it's only sterile when it's to be placed.
My urine because it's sterile.
It doesn't say anything about shitting. It doesn't say anything about shitting.
Hey, I pulled up Urban Dictionary the other day about. We talked about macaroni and cheese. I don't know how we got on that, but I was like, let me look on dictionary. There's a sexual term for mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese?
Yes.
Do we even want to know?
I mean, I can look it up.
Okay. Do we have to stall more?
Yeah, if you want to.
Damn it.
If we're all being goofy right now, let me look up mac and cheese. We did the
All right.
Majestic.
I'm not being goofy. Mine was relevant to the show. We were trying to figure out
was
what they
medicinal.
spiked May's drink with.
All I know is that they did it in Wedding Crashers and that they did it on Raw. And
They called it saline.
no, they didn't call it anything, but it was in an eyedropper, little bottle.
Right, like most laxatives are liquid, aren't they?
Well, yeah.
Could have been laxative. I'm asking you, do they specifically
They
name
didn't
this? Okay.
call it anything. All you see is them squirt it in
Right.
into the tea.
Yeah, I saw the show. I knew what happened. But
Okay.
I'm saying,
Well,
did I miss
you know.
something?
No, not to my knowledge.
All right.
I mean, yes, they did call it saline. Of course. How could you miss that?
We'll postpone mac and cheese for another time.
Can't pull it up?
I got it right here.
Okay, well. And now the dry readings of Urban Dictionary by one
I guess
Tyler
what it is?
Abear.
Go ahead.
Give me a hint.
Mac and cheese.
It's got to do something with the face, right?
No.
It's got to do like some kind of like disease or something.
No.
No?
Sexual stuff, but
Something sexual.
You're thinking of a blue.
I don't even know what I'm thinking. So
Not.
you're thinking of a blue lagoon, right?
No. You're
No.
thinking of a blue waffle or something.
oh, that's nasty. I've seen that.
He's seen it.
Someone showed me. Mac and cheese. A term
I didn't
used,
see it. I just heard what it was.
Oh.
I was like, I don't want to look at that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
a term used by close friends when in a group to indicate they would like some privacy for about 5 minutes while they masturbate. This usually occurs in a group of gamer friends on a Skype chat or similar online chat program. Hey, man, I'm going to go make some mac and cheese. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
So it was like a clear your mind thing. See, that's not even all that bad. Just be like, dude, I need 5 minutes so I can get back in the zone. Right? It's like a clear your head.
There's another thing there. It says an attempt
Clear
by
the
a
bottom
member
head.
of the opposite sex. What?
Nothing. Just keep reading.
An attempt by a member of the opposite sex, hopefully, to lure you back to their house late at night when intoxicated. Often leads to disappointment of no macaroni and cheese, but full-on rampant sex with the invitee, sometimes involving dairy products and other members of the house, including the dog. Can be abbreviated to macked for use in the past tense. Want to come back to mine for some mac and cheese? I got macked last night. I gave her a good macking last night, etc.
My God.
I like I just like and etc.
And dog. Well, thank you, Tyler.
That's a lot. I'm confused about the second.
This is probably the longest it's ever taken us to get through Raw. We're still not done. We're over an hour in.
Hey, man, there's people need to know about mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Hey, break open them Pez, son.
and Breaking open the Pez, really good stuff.
You got lemon, strawberry, grape, and cherry.
Cherry, son.
It's been a very goofy episode. Still have a lot to get through. The Usos go up against Ryback. Another pretty short matchup, but the Usos end up getting the victory. And then the New Age Outlaws looked like they were wanting to fight, but then Billy had to run
Pooped his pants.
because he had the runs.
Poop. No.
No. That would be bad if like he's running and you see something like brown run down his leg.
Oh,
Have you ever shit your pants as an adult?
Came close. Almost lost the grip one time. Almost lost the grip.
What do you mean you almost lost the grip?
Like my butthole. Like I lost the grip. My shit was about to come out.
The look on your face was priceless.
almost lost it. Ha 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 ha.
But I made it to the bathroom, so it was good though, man.
It's not.
Whew, it fell out.
Wow.
You know, I just got engaged and I need to tell some people some personal stuff.
We're learning so much about you, Tyler. This is really some deep bonding moments that we're sharing with thousands of people who listen to the show.
What do you mean? My butthole, man. It wasn't tight. It was loose butthole.
Loose butthole.
Okay, back on Raw. Sorry,
So Mark
sorry.
Henry is the special opponent for Dean Ambrose. This matchup ends in a disqualification. After I see him, he's falling on the ground. I'm trying to just get us through Raw. The Shield end up interfering, so Mark Henry wins via disqualification. And that brings out the Wyatt family as the Shield were getting ready to leave.
You know, that's the thing I was worried about. Mark Henry winning. I love Mark Henry, but I didn't want him to win. I don't know what's going on. He thinks that's funny or something. Is the butthole still?
I thought you were gonna be like, you know, I'd get right back into the.
You know, I listen to Grip. No, I really thought that Mark Henry was going to win the title.
Yeah, I thought that could have been a possible moment.
I didn't want him, as much as I love Mark Henry, I didn't want him to win the title.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of figured once it was Mark Henry, there had to be some sort of interference.
Swerve.
There's not really a believable way that Ambrose could have gotten the victory. So, but anywho, the Wyatt family comes out, and the Shield and Wyatt family have a stare down, which was incredible. The crowd was
pumped.
Crowd was pumped for it. They were getting all into it. It was definitely getting exciting. As I was watching it, I was agreeing. I was like, dude, this is incredible. Just, you know, the tension between the two teams is really great. And the longer I thought about it, I was like, man, can you imagine had they waited until WrestleMania for this kind of build? Like this, you know, when the Wyatt family first made their debut, everyone was saying Shield versus Wyatt family at WrestleMania, Shield versus Wyatt at WrestleMania. Now I'm with them. I'm like, man, based on the reaction that the crowd gave them, just the feeling that you get, like staring at, you know, having three guys stare across to three guys, you know, ready
Come
to
on, boys.
ready to just tear into one another. I felt like that would have been a perfect build for WrestleMania.
I agree. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I feel really bummed that that it's not going to happen at Mania. That they're going to have their own storylines afterwards. But what did you guys get the feel for it?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, this is not this specifically, but everything involving the Shield has been the best booked and the best paced thing they've done, bar none. This course of this year and last year, from just the ascension of the Shield and keeping them strong as a team to the dysfunction in between the guys to even, I guess, like how they're going to take on the Wyatts. I feel like if they would have held off just a little bit longer, they could have made the Wyatts mean more in the meantime. But I guess the goal is really to make the Wyatts off of the Shield, which is the guys who have been the most well built and had the most character development and the most time to get themselves over.
Yep.
So I don't really have a problem with it. But yeah, this is the best thing they've done, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Like booking wise, you know.
Yeah.
They've slow burned it and they haven't rushed it, and it shows that you don't have to be swerved. You can know exactly where this is going. The Wyatts are going to beat the Shield, and the Shield's going to break up. You know exactly where this is going, but you still want to see it. You don't need to be surprised. It just needs to be well done, you know?
Exactly. And they have done an excellent job for the Shield since their debut. Like, just really good stuff. I mean, yeah, they've lost focus every once in a while, but they get right back on track.
You can't be the focus the entire time.
Yeah. So, but they've done just a really good job. Like I said, as I was watching it, I was like, man, if this would have been the build-up for WrestleMania, man, that would have sold a lot of tickets for them to want to see that.
I like everything about it, even down to the fact that Roman was the guy to be like, okay, we're going to get in the ring. Like, he was the first guy in.
Yeah. Like, he's taking charge.
Right.
He's becoming the the one to stand out and say, we're not going to be intimidated by you guys.
Yeah. Fuck y'all.
So it's going to lead even further whenever they do split up, and he's going to go his own separate way. He's going to be one of those standout stars. And I noticed that they were focusing a lot on him in the close-ups. Like, it wasn't just a pan of all three. It was Roman Reigns. They were really focusing on him. And he definitely had the look down. He has improved so much since they first came in. And it's only going to go up from there. He's going to be a huge star.
Yeah, his ring work's going to come along, and he's got it in just about he's got it in spades and just about anything else they want from him other than that long.
Yeah.
The shit that he has is the shit you can't teach, the charisma and the presence.
That special it factor.
Yeah, you can't teach a guy.
You look at him and you're like, oh, dude, this guy's going to be, a big thing, big deal.
And I mean, you could tell just from the position that they had him stand in, he stood in the middle, opposite Bray.
Yeah.
So I mean, that says everything right there.
Yeah, you didn't have him stand on the side facing Luke Harper, and you didn't have like Ambrose standing in the middle facing, it was, I am the center of this as well as Bray. We are the focus on the
Shield.
We are the Shield. So yeah, just really good stuff. It's going to be really enjoyable to see. I don't know. I feel like they could have built it up to even one of those, team who loses is the one that splits up, and that could have been their breakup at WrestleMania. The Shield's no more or something like that. But
they still planning to do that thing where they want Mason Run or whoever to become?
I haven't heard anything lately, but that was the last that I heard.
They haven't called me, so I don't know.
Oh, well, there's still time.
I mean, I could be part of the Shield if they want. So.
Yeah. So next up, we got to see the Bella Twins and Cameron going up against Oksana, Alicia Fox, and AJ.
Did we skip the Usos match?
No, we talked about it very briefly whenever we were talking about Tyler's butthole.
No, we didn't talk about it.
Oh, did we not
I just
mention
remember
how
talking about
awesome the
butthole.
spot was where he hit the tag as he was going over the top?
Oh, yeah, that
we
was
missed
pretty
that.
cool.
That was super awesome.
Yeah, very nice to see.
Sorry, my butthole outshined that moment.
Yeah. about that.
Your butthole's trying to keep the Usos down.
Yep. So, but Cameron was in instead of Naomi because Naomi, as we mentioned last week, that sickening knee to the eye actually fractured her eye socket. So she's going to be out for a few weeks, which kind of ruins her championship match against AJ that had been talked about for Elimination Chamber. So
she'll be determined when she gets back. More determined.
So hopefully she can come back strong and get right back in the title picture. Hope she recovers well. But girl bye from Cameron onto Oksana, giving them the win with the Bellas. Was it on Raw where the Bellas tried to do the I'm going to be on Raw for it? Yeah, and it just completely missed it. So yeah, anywho. Next up we had Kane.
We're talking about Shield. Did you guys see on SmackDown how you know how last week that Ambrose stole the pin after Roman speared him? Well, they had a match on SmackDown where Roman's hit the spear. He's like, yeah, now you can pin him. He's like, go ahead, take the win.
No, I didn't catch that. Yeah. Oh man, that would have been pretty good. I tried to watch Impact this past week, and the TV has an option where you can start the program over, but if you do that, you can't fast forward and you can't rewind or anything like that. So it makes it all messed up. And once it reaches that point, it goes right back to live TV. And so I was like, well, okay, I'm already in the overtime, it's already in the 10 o'clock hour where they're just finishing that last segment up. I was like, okay, I'll watch this and then I'll rewind it and go back to start that over. So I just watched the last 3 minutes with Dixie and MVP, and then I went to rewind it. Didn't work.
Damn.
I was like,
I was about to say, did you see anything with the Wolves?
No, I missed everything.
They basically were only on at the very beginning during a walk-in part. MVP talked 87 times during the show.
All right, nice and overkill.
So they haven't wrestled yet, huh?
Nope. So yeah, but going back into Raw, Kane comes out, who was apparently told that he had the night off. He came out and said, I acted on my own. I was not told by Stephanie or Triple H to do what I did, and Daniel Bryan wanted nothing to do with that, so he came out and they brawled.
And Daniel Bryan comes out.
Yeah,
he's on administrative leave. Why is he out there telling everybody he's on administrative leave? Just send his ass home.
Yeah. So Team Hell No brawl. And I saw one quote that said Dr. Shelby is probably crying right now of disappointment.
Yeah. I wish they would have played that up,
they former teammates and anger management graduates. Poor Dr. Shelby. So that takes us into
if they had played that up more, I'd have been okay with the thing, but I was just kind of meh, whatever.
So that takes us into the final matchup, finally. John Cena versus Randy Orton. Crowd wasn't into this, but, they put on a decent matchup again. Yeah. Cena ends up defeating Orton. Wasn't a terrible match, but the crowd just wasn't into it. And I made mention of this on the Facebook page. I don't think it's the fact that they face each other so many times. It's the fact that, the ending very rarely changes. Either Cena wins by disqualification, something happens to distract Cena, or Cena wins. It goes back to that discussion that we've had numerous times about, the limited amount of times that Cena has lost cleanly. I know he lost at TLC, but people can argue, oh, his hands were handcuffed to the rope and he got thrown into a table or something like that.
But that was legal.
Yeah.
Therefore,
but how often have we seen Cena get pinned 1, 2, 3 in the center of the ring, with no distractions, no interference, here in the last few years? I mean, you can throw out Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, The Rock,
AKA the guys who needed to and the guys who mattered.
Yeah.
Why should he drop to Orton?
And I get what they're doing with Orton. They're trying to make it seem like, he's going to be scared that he might lose his title because he's losing to all these people.
He lost to the top baby faces, the two
Yeah.
top baby faces.
Yeah.
That's all who he lost to. He won the SmackDown matches.
Yeah. Well, without going into spoiler, well, I guess going into spoilers a
Ain't
little
no
bit.
fucking way. You tell me they put Cesaro over him? Holy shit. That's fucking
Really?
awesome.
Neutralizer.
Nicely done.
Wow.
Color me impressed. I did not read the spoilers.
I
That's
did, and
awesome.
I was shocked as anyone.
So Christian's the only guy who got jumped out.
Which means Christian's going to be the one to win and go on to face Batista at WrestleMania.
Wow.
That is
I am
awesome.
shocked.
Yeah. So there you go.
That just proves that I guess he's on his way to his baby face.
Definitely. So, you know, I wouldn't say so much a spoiler, but something to be on the lookout for. I mean, yeah,
well, we spoiled
I
it, yeah.
spoiled the ending, but it's going to be something you're going to want to watch. How about that? So yeah, so that pretty much closes out Raw.
That's badass.
Yeah. So time to go into some hot topics. It's been announced that WWE 2K15. Yes, we're already on the topic.
Hey man, I didn't even mention it. You mentioned it.
Okay. Well, I was just saying.
No, I know how you mess with me. Like,
Yeah, I know. It takes like 6 months of talking. But WWE 2K15 is set to be released on next-gen consoles. At the moment, there's no talk about the current gens or 360 or PlayStation 3. Make sure you hold it in. So
You sick fuck. He was like snapping and pointing at the candy. He was like, "Do you want some?" I was like, "No, I can't handle any more candy." He's like, "I got to fart."
will you take that outside?
Like, what the fuck? He just said it out of nowhere.
Look, there he goes. So
When
Doug.
the fuck is someone gonna marry you, man?
Oh,
Oh,
my God.
dude, that is fucking wretched. Get the fuck
So
out.
God. So Doug. If
He looks so pleased with himself.
if WWE 2K15 only comes out on the next gen consoles, are you gonna buy a next gen console strictly for that game?
I would buy one anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay. How about you, Tyler?
oh man, I don't know, man.
He's
I don't know.
spent.
Are you going Xbox One or PlayStation 4?
I'm gonna go both.
I'll go both ways.
Okay. So there you go. For
I'm
those,
an Xbox One and PS4. That's what I mean.
For those who are fans of the current WWE logo, the scratch logo, be prepared to say farewell. Starting at the launch of the WWE Network, starting February 24th, the scratch logo will be no more. It'll be replaced by the network logo that you've been seeing all over the place and on their new jets and stuff. So be on the lookout for that.
It's time. It's time.
It is, especially since we're out of the Attitude Era, out of the modern
Their time's
era.
up. My time is now. So
Sure.
Well,
Something else to really look forward to on February 24th, the date of the WWE Network launch. It's being rumored and reported and all that Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker scheduled to return to Raw.
And
Brother.
CM Punk, brother.
And Jimmy Hart. So there you go. So really cool stuff, I guess. It'll be interesting to see what role Hogan plays. For those who are just diehard WWE studio news, as far as their movies, it's being reported that Jingle All the Way 2, yes, the old Arnold Schwarzenegger Christmas film, where he tries to find an action figure, is getting a sequel starring Santino Marella.
huh?
I'm interested.
Yeah?
I may give that a peek.
It'll be interesting to see what he has to search for. Maybe the latest John Cena action figure, and he ends up meeting John Cena. So,
Sounds fucking awesome.
okay.
Sign me up.
Also, The Marine 4 is set to come out, and it's going to be starring The Miz again. So he's going to be the first one to
Reprising his
reprise his role. That's right. Going to be in a sequel. Marine 4 and
He's
Jingle
gonna
All the
meet
Way
up
2.
with John Cena and Ted DiBiase.
No. So there you go. Other hot topic news. I don't know if you guys followed the game Flappy Bird or not.
No idea. Tyler couldn't explain this to me very well.
It's basically
What is it?
an app for your iPhone or Android, and you tap the screen to make a little bird jump, and you have to make him go through a set of pipes.
That's what I said.
And the pipes change height and stuff like that. And it's really difficult because the bird only goes like whatever you click it goes the same height, but if you tap it, faster, it'll fly up faster, and it's really difficult to get through all the pipes, and it led a lot of people to pretty much go insane and send tons of hate mail to the creator of the app. Dude was making $50,000 a day on ad revenue from this game. It was a free game to download, and all it was is that an ad would pop up at the top of the screen or at the bottom of the screen, and then it would fade away. He made $50,000 a day from that. Got so much hate mail, he took it off of Apple stores. Okay.
After how much money did he make first?
I mean, it didn't. It had probably been out a month, and then it really picked up steam here in the last two to 3 weeks. So it I guess it varies. But anyways,
why did he get so much hate mail?
Because it was pretty difficult. It was a difficult game, and so
quit being a fucking baby. Don't play it if you don't like it.
Exactly. So people decided to complain and be little bitches about it. And so he basically came out and said, "This game has destroyed my life. I'm taking this down." Wow. And so it got to the point where people were selling their phone, were trying to sell their phones on eBay that still had the app, because you can't download it, but if you still have it on your phone, you can still play it. So people were putting their phones on eBay saying, "Hey, here's a phone, or here's an iPod or iPad with Flappy Bird on it so that you can still play it." And reports are that bids got up to $9,000, maybe even higher.
What?
That people were wanting to buy it. eBay actually took those down so that people couldn't pay for it, because that's just stupid.
That is.
And anyone who put a bid on that, you're a freaking idiot.
Mark.
Anywho.
Abear's calling people marks.
Which, by the way, speaking of marks, did you guys see?
I apologize, Abear. You did tell me exactly what it was. I just didn't believe it.
Did you guys happen to see that Ring Psychology video?
The Wrestling News channel.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I guess I don't know those guys. I guess they're with the Upright Citizens Brigade or something like that.
But anyways, back to the Flappy Bird. It's a really hot game right now. Everyone's playing it. It's the top game or whatever. So it gets taken down, right? Everyone's upset and trying to buy it on eBay for God knows what reason. So someone came out and basically redid the game, but instead of a bird, they put an 8-bit or 8-pixel, 8-bit character of Daniel Bryan.
I saw that, but I didn't get the reference. I didn't know the Flappy Bird part.
Yeah, that's what it was. And so they call it Flappy Bryan. Have you seen gameplay from it?
No.
Okay. If you tap him and he tries to go through the tunnels, if he goes through, you get a yes. And whenever he hits something, you hear no.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's really cool. It's free to play. Go online. I tried to check it out, but the link wasn't working at the time for me. But that's something for you to look forward to if you're die hard over that game. Final bit of hot topic news. Oh, my throat's starting to go.
Oh man.
The WWE apparently is making Antonio Cesaro just Cesaro. So they're dropping Antonio. He's just going to be known as Cesaro, like Batista or Raven or whoever.
Raven.
No. Not Raymond.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's Raymond.
Hi. And apparently the same is going to be going for Big E Langston. No more Langston. He's just going to be known as Big E.
It's just like me. I'm going to be A Bear from now on.
Okay. So thank you, Tyler.
That's not me.
So any thoughts on this?
I have no problem with it.
I don't really know how I feel about it.
Yeah. Just calling him Cesaro?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're just trying to simplify. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, there's times that we call him Cesaro, not Antonio Cesaro.
Mm-hmm.
And if we
90% of the time.
Big E, just Big E, not Big Langston. So.
Okay. So, well, yeah, there you go.
I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know exactly what it holds.
I don't have a problem with it. I had some friends in the past where we just called them by their last name. And it's just something that you did. Oh, yeah, yes.
Farty McParterson.
Hold it in. So yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
So, time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers.
I'm sorry, it's just weird.
My voice is
I know.
it's tired now.
Yeah.
So first question coming to us from Thomas. Drop it low, son.
Drop it low, son. Drop it low, son.
Saying, hey guys, nowadays it seems that there's plenty of talk about who the face of the WWE is, but I think it's no secret that Cena has been in the past and may still considered by many to be the face of the WWE, a position he has held since 2005. With Cena approaching nearly a decade as the top star, I was wondering, how long do you think he has left in him? And if you were to book his final run in the WWE, what would you book him to do? Also, congrats to Tyler on his upcoming nuptials. Hopefully Noah won't appear at the wedding and reveal he is already married Daryl. Married Daryl in a moment that would make Triple H proud.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you.
How would you book Cena's final run, and how long do you think he has in him?
I just want to say this first about Cena. Cena's like, I feel like Cena's Hogan to me. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be like a long, long time before he quits. Even though his body's gonna be breaking down, he'll take a break or he'll still have to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like if he retires, he couldn't stay that way. He wants to wrestle. But I could be wrong. That's what I just take from Total Divas. You know, that's my take. You know, seeing him and him saying all that stuff. For his last run, Daniel Bryan.
Another run against Daniel Bryan?
Or Cesaro.
Heel run? How about you, Doug?
Well, so apparently he's 37. So I could easily see him going strong to 45.
Yeah.
I'd give him 7 years. Batista's 45.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't look as old as he is, but he's pretty old.
Yeah.
I'm 43.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I could easily see him staying active until 45. Maybe more with a lighter schedule. You know, I mean.
Yeah.
I can see him like working more of a traction schedule in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say how you would book his last run, though. I mean, you don't know who's around and available at that time. You know.
Yeah, and it's always one of those never say never kind of things. Like, how many times is he going to come back for one more match? And
Or, I mean, how would we know who would be worthy to like work him in like 7 years? You know,
right?
We wouldn't even know who would be around in 7 years.
Yeah. You know, I get worried because, you know, with injuries and surgeries and stuff like that, I feel like Tyler said, he's going to wrestle until he can't anymore. Like he's physically not going to be able to be mobile.
I don't know that that's the case. I don't know that you could say that about Cena. Cena is a company guy in the fact that he will rush back.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily make him the I can't step away guy. It just makes him the uber dedicated while I'm still here guy.
Right.
It's not necessarily the same thing. It could very well be, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, you can easily say he's got another 5 years in him.
He absolutely has 5 years in him.
Yeah.
I'd say as many as 7 or 8.
Even with the way that he's been booked lately, where he'll do maybe 1 or 2 matches during Raw leading into a pay-per-view, and then he'll wrestle on the pay-per-view, and then he'll come out that following Monday, book a promo, do a promo the next week, have a match, you know, something like that. Sort of. There's, I can already kind of see it where he's not wrestling every single night, every single Raw.
Not only is he not wrestling every single Raw, he's not even the focal point of the show anymore.
Yeah.
It's clearly like the Daniel Bryan show right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's focused. I mean, he's where the focus is.
And I think this is a good time to start a transition period where, you know, Cena's got his storyline, but he's not the main focus anymore.
He can be a priority.
Yeah. And, you know, where it calls for it, they'll put him there.
Right.
But I mean, who out of everything that happened during Raw, what can you say was the focal point? You know.
Well, I felt like the Bryan stuff would have been more poignant if the crowd hadn't been so fixated on wanting to be rebels.
Yeah.
And not even that, not very determined rebels either. They quickly gave up on it.
Yeah. But you can easily say,
you could easily say over the past few weeks, few months, you could absolutely say that Bryan's been the focus of the show. Just because if it's not this week, I mean.
And over the past couple of weeks, the Shield and the Wyatts.
Right.
You know, that's a big focus.
Well, that's your
point
two
that
money angles right now.
So, oh, there it is. Nice. The drawing from John from Nightmare Pro Wrestling. Really good stuff. So, yeah, I mean, like we said, there's still a few years left of him. He's still pushing the merch. As long as there are kids wanting his merchandise, he's going to be selling it. So,
Yeah, Batista's 45 right now.
yeah.
So Cena is every bit as good a shape as Batista is.
Mhm.
He could he's worked longer and a harder schedule, so maybe, but he's absolutely as in every as good a shape as Batista.
if not better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we'll have to see.
It would just be an injuries thing where Batista had time off to recoup.
Yeah, which they would definitely give to Cena. So, I think he's certainly paid his dues by this point. And also, Cena, congrats to him on the 400th Make-A-Wish that he did, most by anybody in the history of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So, really big stuff.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Good for him.
So, thanks for the question, Thomas. And again, it'd be hard to book his final run. You just never know. Next question coming to us from our buddy Ryan, saying, "What's up, guys? Did any of you hear a rumor about Shelton Benjamin having a dark match with Tyson Kidd on Raw?"
Did hear about that.
I didn't.
I didn't.
I did hear about that, but I don't know. First of all, what's up, Ryan? But
Yeah.
I don't know what the upside is for Shelton in this landscape of the WWE. Like, where does he fit in? Because they got plenty of guys they could use that are as skilled as he is, and some that are even better talkers, which is kind of his notorious downfall, is he's not a great speaker.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got much more upside in Japan. I would just stay in Japan. I don't know what. He's just like an athletic dude. When I think about Shelton Benjamin, I think about John Morrison, like a super athletic dude. He could do freaky athletic shit, but he's not necessarily a great worker, and he's definitely not a good speaker.
So, yeah, I mean, it'd be great to see him back. He can put on. That he can put on some good matches, but you have to think how far would he really go? They pretty much just replace him with the crazy spots with Kofi Kingston. So as long as Kingston's able to do it, they're not going to look for him to come back unless they just want to say, hey, we want to bring you back as a guest spot in the Rumble, or maybe have a couple matches after that, and then you can,
of all the guys to bring back, I don't see why he would be the guy.
Yeah.
I just don't see the upside to him.
Yeah.
And I don't dislike him, and I'm not trying to shit on him.
Mhm.
I just don't see how it makes sense.
Yeah. I'd like to see him back, but,
I think he can flourish more in Japan.
yeah. So there you go. Thanks for the question. Next question coming to us from Cody, saying,
Pepsi fan.
yes, with all this talk of
Not Pepsi fan.
with all this talk of the Hall of Fame, who would be the 5 in your dream Hall of Fame class of uninducted members? So 5 people who have not.
Here's my thing about the Hall of Fame. It's not a real legitimate thing.
Yeah.
First of all, there's no legitimate criteria for a Hall of Fame because it's not a legitimate sport. So you can't have any legitimate criteria in the first place. Now you could have some made up criteria for your made up Hall of Fame, but they don't even have that. They just induct whoever they feel like. They have kind of a paint by numbers thing where they're trying to hit different demographics.
Yeah.
And just to sell tickets, which it doesn't mean shit to me, which I don't care because I know it's all bullshit, so I'm not going to get worked up about it, right? So, but it's just arbitrary. They just pick whoever. It's not it's not a thing, right? I mean, you could try. I mean, I have the sensibility of, if you're going to do a Hall of Fame, it should be somewhat legitimate, and you should have legitimate criteria where you kind of have a baseline of if you're this good, then you get in, and if you're not, then you don't. And that means different things for different people. I mean, different things should be taken into account, being a great draw, a huge draw is one aspect of it. That's, an aspect. Being a great worker is another aspect. I mean, and so, maybe guys who are amazing, who are all-time great draws aren't always the best workers, but being so much of a draw is a significant enough to get you in, or being so much of a worker just because you weren't a draw is a significant thing to get you in. Or maybe you're not the best worker or the greatest draw, but you're one of the best talkers ever. It's weird criteria, right? But you can make sense of it all. but they don't do that in any way, shape, or form. There's no like criteria. There isn't even any like illusion of a criteria, right? They're blatantly haphazardly like picking whoever they feel like picking. So it makes no sense to me. So like I have no reason to even like it means nothing to me just to pick 5 guys that I like to go into the Hall of Fame because that's stupid. There's no criteria in that. I am of the sensibility that I would like, if I'm running a Hall of Fame, I say you start at the beginning of time or as far back as you can go with proof of how these guys worked, how these guys draw, whatever records you have, and you have to induct all the historically overlooked people. I mean, like, back to the very beginning, like Estes in, is Hackenschmidt in, is all these dudes in, and I'm not even going to sit here and pretend to you that I know how well those guys drew or have seen them worked enough, have seen like enough footage to know that these guys were like whatever, like, so it's all bullshit to me. So like I'm not going to like fake make up like 5, just pick 5 guys out of a hat to go into the thing.
Well, how about this? How about Doug's Mount Rushmore? Who are 5 guys that have stood the test of time in your eyes? Can be anyone. Doesn't have to be necessarily WWE. Could be Japan. Could be UK. Could be Mexico. Who's your fave 5 all time?
Who?
How about we switch it up a little bit like that? Would that be acceptable?
I mean, I can name 5 guys I like, but
Yeah.
trying to narrow it down to 5.
And it doesn't have to be in any particular order. You can just be like, oh, dude.
I do like Bryan a lot, and he is like one of my all-time top guys.
Okay.
I think I have to put Mitsuharu Misawa in there. Japanese legend. Part of the hot like 90s All Japan scene. I mean, I think he's definitely up there.
Regal?
See, I do love Regal. A whole fucking lot, too.
Dusty Rhodes?
I do love Dusty. Dusty would probably be on Mount Rushmore. I would definitely put Dusty on Mount Rushmore.
Kenta?
Nah, not Kenta. I mean, I like Kenta fine, but he's not going up there.
Jushin?
Liger's in the running, man. I'd say Dusty's a for sure. I'd say Misawa's a for sure.
Okay.
I don't want to throw Bryan in there.
Okay. Well, this is your Rushmore, so you pick whoever you want.
Yeah, Dusty's a no-brainer. I don't know. You guys talk about it. I'm trying to think about who guys I would put.
All right. Tyler's Mount Rushmore. 5 people. That's Mount Rushmore and 5.
Okay.
So we're going above and beyond. So 5 people, your all-time faves, Hall of Fame, A-Bears, inductions. Past, present, future. Whoever.
Steve Blackman,
Steve Blackman,
Chris Jericho,
Chris Jericho, got dead air, guys.
Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan.
Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. One more.
This is gonna be weird, whatever. But I liked him back in the past. I still like him now, but not as much.
Saying them, you got room for one.
I know him. He's part of a group, but I'm just gonna pick this one guy. This is weird. Road Dogg.
Road Dogg. Interesting. All right. I'd probably go Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Kurt Angle, and Daniel Bryan. Those are my fave 5s.
I feel like Mach is in contention.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could settle on a 5, for sure 5 right here, right now.
Okay.
Dusty's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely have to put Bryan in for sure.
Okay.
I think Misawa is pretty for sure.
Okay.
I think Regal may make it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say Regal.
Okay.
I don't know that I have a number 5 that I can for sure lock number 5 right now.
Okay. Well, that could be your 4 Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
So there you go. So thanks for the question. Do appreciate it. Next one coming to us from Garrett from YouTube saying, do you guys think it would be a good idea to defend any of the NXT titles on pay-per-view? And I like this question. This is definitely one of those, think outside the box. I think this would be a great kickoff, pre-show match. It would give a way to give some of the spotlight to these guys without having it be the main card. So, those who tune in can say, okay, now I kind of want to check this out, instead of saying, oh, why are they giving, why are, these guys being in the kickoff show, but then the NXT guys get a slot on the pay-per-view. Like, I feel like that would probably be the best way to incorporate, is if you had the NXT guys on the kickoff show, because they'd be like, hey, here's 2 guys you need to keep an eye on by checking out NXT, and then they could, use some of the kickoff time to talk about what's been going on there.
If you are gonna do it, I do like your idea of keeping it to the pre-show.
Yeah,
I'm not so sold on that. You 100% sure you should do that, because I feel like there's this weird.
And it doesn't have to be every pay-per-view, something like that. I think it would be a nice inclusion.
Sure. Like, again, I agree that if you're gonna do it, yeah, put it on the pre-show. But I don't know. I think there's this weird limbo where like a lot of these guys fall into where there's not a lot of differentiation between like you have your top guys and then you sort of have everybody else who's not featured, and it makes them feel like they don't have a role or are in a weird role. So you're not really sure, like, even like you're not even like clearly defined like mid-carders at this point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you just start throwing more guys on the show, meaning the NXT guys, I think it like muddies it up even more, and there's even less distinction between like a class of guys,
Right.
And I think it becomes even harder to like find meaningful things for these guys, because you just have a sea of dudes who you need to pick out of. If you are going to do it, I do like your idea of keeping it on the pre-show, but I'm not sold that you should. I mean,
okay.
I don't know. You could present an argument to me and sway me into thinking it if you presented a good argument, but I don't see one on my own.
I think like a valid argument would have been the kickoff show for the last pay-per-view for the Royal Rumble, where the tag team championships were defended and titles exchanged hands. I felt like that could have been something that could have been added to the pay-per-view card itself, rather than the kickoff show. And you could have had either a mid-card match, or you could have had some of the NXT guys come out and show off a little bit.
Well, a mid-card match by definition.
Well, you know what I mean, like some of the mid-card guys.
Well, I know, but I mean, I see your argument, but to me, that's not an argument for specifically why you would include NXT guys. It's just
Right.
be like, you don't feel that's a great placement on that card for that match.
Well, during the Royal Rumble match itself, you did see, who was it, Alexander Rusev? Is that what his name was? You did see him, so they could say, oh, he's, you could have had them be featured in that match and said, hang on, folks, we got a nice surprise for you. Those aren't the only NXT stars you'll see in the featured on the Royal Rumble tonight, leading to that match. Say, oh, we got someone else to feature in there as well.
Well, I don't know that I accept that. I mean, I still think it presents like as many problems as it could do good,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sold. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Or what if you had them just sort of be like the showcase matchup? Because I don't know.
I think you could do like a big. They're trying to stamp out like all the. I've heard this idea kicked around on the internet, and I think it's a pretty good idea. Like, they're trying to stamp out all the independent shows over WrestleMania weekend. Well, if you're going to do like a big like barn burner NXT show over WrestleMania weekend, I think that's a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
A big meaningful show, like their big show of the year. But I don't necessarily. I don't know. I don't know that there's. I don't know.
Well, like, whenever I went to one of the house shows, or not, it wasn't a house show. It was a live Raw taping back in the '90s. They had that dark match where it was a new guy who'd be coming in versus a local guy or whatever, sort of just to showcase that.
Top guy, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they could use that for the kickoff show for some of the NXT guys. Be like, well, hey, we're getting ready to start the road to WrestleMania where new stars are born. Speaking of, here's a showcase of what's going on over in NXT. Here are two guys that you need to be on the watch for there. And, it doesn't necessarily have to be a title match, but you can have two NXT guys face each other in the kickoff matchup.
I mean, again, that's fine if you're going to keep it to the pre-show. I don't necessarily have a major problem with it, but I don't know. I don't think you can do a jobber match there. I think you have to do a competitive match between two guys.
Right. And that's sort of what I mean. Just have it sort of be a showcase to get people to want to be interested in tune in to NXT.
I was confused by what you said because you were talking about jobber matches. So
right, but what I'm saying it was, the new guys who no one's really heard of because they haven't been featured on the programming. These guys are on NXT, but no one in the U.S. really knows a whole lot about them because they don't really get the access to watch it yet. So this would be a good way to say, make sure you tune in on the WWE Network, whenever it airs, I think Wednesdays or whatever. So make sure you tune in Wednesday evening for all new episode of NXT. Here are two of the guys that you're going to see in action, blah, 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 blah. And you can also do a title match here and there.
I see your point, but I don't know if I'm sold on it.
Okay.
I think it's fine if you keep it to the pre-show, but I think if you put it on the main card, it presents a lot of problems because you already
know about these guys.
Not only that, but you have a lot of guys you're already not doing anything with. So why are you going to muddy that up even more?
Yeah. So okay. So I think as long as they keep it to the pre-show or something like that,
because that clearly defines the real card from the pre-show.
Yes.
So you're making it clear. You're clearly defining the roles of these guys and saying these guys aren't lost in this sea of other people.
Right.
There's already enough guys lost in that sea of people. Do some shit with those guys. Figure out something to do with them. Don't add more to the chaos.
Remember when Sandow was looking like he was going to be featured here a couple weeks ago, and then all of a sudden he's just, I'm just the kickoff guy, and you're not going to see me for a while.
Yeah. They have a lot of guys to do shit with.
Mm-hmm. So, but there you go. But thank you for the question, Garrett. Next question coming to us from Hendo Blake on YouTube, saying, great podcast this week. Love the video. Good to see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I reckon Orton will lose the title soon, and the Authority will turn to Bryan for help. And what are your thoughts on Punk? Do you think he will come back?
It's a funny thing. I forgot the words. I don't think that will happen, but it wouldn't surprise me because the Authority being wishy-washy. But they seem consistent on hating or not liking Daniel Bryan. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't think that's the story that they're trying to tell.
Yeah.
And I also don't, even if they were, I don't think it's the story they should tell. Bryan sort of inherited Punk's feud with Kane and probably his feud with Triple H. I mean, that's seems like it makes more sense anyway because he has had more interaction and more reason to feud with those guys anyway. But so I don't see them turning to Bryan to help with Orton. I think the story is, Bryan, finally overcomes Triple H, and then he's gonna eventually go on to win the title.
Yeah.
That signifying his struggle with the Authority is over because he's bested Triple H, and then he can go back to focusing on the title. I think that's the story they're telling. I think that's the story they should be telling, and I don't see that including him turning to help on Orton. And as far as what I think about Punk, will we see him back? I don't think he's coming back. I don't think you see him before Mania, or if at all. I think he's going to ride it out because mostly because I think he would look stupid to come back now. You know what I mean? I think you kind of have to. He has to. I don't see them, whatever he wants, I don't think they can give it to him at this point. So he would basically have to swallow his pride to come back at this point, and I don't think that's something that Punk would do.
And he'd probably end up losing to Triple H because of it.
Yeah, I just don't. I think he's way too proud and way too much of a mark for himself to come back. It's already not a money thing because this is the season of the year they make the most money, so it's not a money thing.
Yeah, he's willing to walk away from all that.
Yeah, he's walked away. He's way willing to, so I don't see him coming back.
Okay.
Eventually, yes, but not immediately. Definitely not by Mania.
Yeah, it'll at least be a while before he returns. So thank you for the question, Hendo. Next question coming to us from 8 Luke S. saying, personally, I don't get why Daniel Bryan is so over. He has great in-ring skills, yes, but for actual mic work, I haven't been that impressed. Every single time he has been on the mic or has been with a mic in hand since winning against Cena, he has always tailed off into a yes or no chant. I'm finding his gimmick stale and boring at the moment. WWE botched the Wyatt storyline, and now he's gone back to the exact same thing. We now know there will be no big payoff at WrestleMania, so why is he still getting hype? In my opinion, WWE should be building Cesaro and Ziggler up from the mid-card. What do you guys see in Daniel Bryan?
Well, I don't know what you see in Ziggler, like, to be honest. Like, I don't know why you think he's a guy who's any less still than Bryan. I think Bryan has a ton more minimum than Ziggler.
And we've talked about Ziggler several times in the past. You know,
my problems. I don't hate the guy, but I got my problems with Ziggler.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them pushing Cesaro. I'm all for it. I'm a big fan of Cesaro.
Yeah, and it definitely looks like it's going to be happening sometime soon.
What I think, as far as there's a ton of shit about Bryan that I love in ring, but I mean, you said you're fine with his ring work, so I won't even go into that. As far as like why I'm okay with him on the mic is because he's like you can tell that he's himself to a large extent. Like you know how people always talk about like the best wrestling gimmicks are just that person turning up to 11, blah, blah, whatever. That feels like Bryan feels like genuine. When he speaks, it feels like the way he would talk. It doesn't feel like he's like putting on a character. It feels like that's the way he talks. That's how he would act in that situation. You know, like Stone Cold, have you ever listened to Stone Cold's podcast? Stone Cold is Stone Cold. That's not a fucking gimmick. That's how that dude talks. That's how that guy lives his fucking life. He is that guy. And I feel like Bryan, he's the opposite of that, but he's as true to himself as that. He's like the same guy. He's like, that's how he is. That's how he speaks. That's how he would speak.
Yeah.
That's he's not putting. I think he connects in an honest way because he's not putting on a fake show. Like he's kind of like the reality of himself is there.
Yeah, and I think one thing that the fans really like about him is that, you know, Vince and Triple H, I guess you could say now, they've got that thing for big guys, you know. So for Bryan to come in and sort of upstage them in a sense, you know, put on those, you know, high quality matches every single week that he's out there, you know, for him to be fast paced, exciting, you know, he's not gassed by the end of his 30-minute match. You know, he might be panning a little heavy, but you're not going to see him like sucking wind like Batista was at the Rumble. Granted, he had a lot of ring rust, but still, you know, you see the bigger guys work this slower paced matchup. You know, just because their body is so large that they end up getting winded. But, you know, I think he puts on exciting matches. You know, he's definitely one of those actions speak louder than words kind of wrestlers. You know, he does his business in the ring. Yeah, he gets on the mic every once in a while. He'll lead the yes or no chants. But that's, you know, that's part of his character. He's gotten over with the crowd. He took something as simple as saying yes and made it stick.
Yeah, I mean, he got that over. I mean,
yeah, it wasn't Ziggler that got that going. It wasn't a silly catchphrase. It was just something that he said. He you know, when he first started doing it, he tried to do it to be annoying, and it happened to just catch on with the fans. And then whenever he lost at WrestleMania, it caught again. That's what really caught it whenever he lost to Sheamus, because they were wanting to see Daniel Bryan in that matchup at WrestleMania put on a great matchup, and they felt like they kind of got screwed. So that, you know, it started the Daniel Bryan chants, and the next night is whenever they took over, you know, cheering for Daniel Bryan, chanting yes, yes, yes. So, you know, I've in a sense, I feel like that 18-second loss was probably the best thing that happened for him.
Easily.
Yeah, because that was the catalyst for the, you know, for the yes chants and all that really caught on with the fans. And it's, you know, taking his career to new heights. And, you know, I feel like
this is really like a 2-year like character arc for him, really, because it really started at that Mania.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just something about his presence. He's a great performer.
Yeah, I mean, I said I wasn't going to go into the ring work, but you started, so I'm going to, show some love to all the stuff I like about him. But I mean, as far as like the brilliance of the yes is that it could be played both ways. It can be used to cheer him on, or it could be used as a way of you trying to get in his head and annoying him. And like when he didn't want you to yes,
I
and you
chant yes, the fans chanted yes. I chant no, the fans still chant no, or
Right.
they still chant yes.
Yeah, that's the brilliance of that. Is no matter which way you were doing it, it worked. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It pertains to him.
Right. I mean, like, Brian is like super charismatic, and like, people also often confuse charisma with speaking ability, and it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying Brian is a good speaker. I think Brian's an adequate speaker, and I think he's a natural speaker in the way that, like I said, he just comes across as the same guy. But he's also got like he's also very charismatic in like a really weird way that you don't expect to be a guy that size to be. And I mean, like, he's like I think he's the best seller in the company. And before people start fucking saying Dolph Ziggler, there's a difference between bumping and selling. There's a difference.
Or overselling.
Yeah. I mean, well, just strictly, there's a difference between bumping and selling. Ziggler bumps hard. Selling is like your portrayal of, like, not the action of taking it, but your portrayal of weakness because of it.
Ziggler's bumping is one step away from Shawn Michaels in the SummerSlam match against Hulk Hogan.
But it's senseless in a lot of ways. Like, Brian bumps big when it matters.
Yeah.
And I think he's one of the better sellers in the company. And again, that's different than bumping before people start saying Ziggler. It's different. Seriously. I think he's second to none in big man, little man matches. Like, I don't think anyone works for them better. And he's different. He's like inherited the throne from Ray, but he just does it in a different way. Like, Ray was used of flying and speed, where Brian's more of a technical guy, where he's going to like try and chop the tree down. Like, he does it in a different way, but he's still like the best in the game at it. And like his game, he has aspects. He does everything either adequate to extremely well. He does a little bit of flying. He does he can do technical, you know, he can do it all, you know. I think we talked a while back about the formulaic wrestling of. I think he's the best guy at mixing up his formula in the WWE, and people like trying to argue that he has like formulaic matches, but Brian could. I mean, let's take the surfboard, like the surfboard for instance. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he'll just like do the bottom half of the surfboard legs and just like stomp them down real quick just to work the legs. Sometimes he puts them in the full surfboard out of that position. Sometimes he puts them in the surfboard and stretches their face back with like his claw on their face. Sometimes he pulls them all the way down and puts them in the dragon sleeper out of the surfboard. That's like 5 different.
Or sometimes he'll pull them up and curb stomp them.
Yeah, that's 6 variations on one move that he does. That's 6 variations on one position that he does.
Yeah.
And people talk he's formulaic. Well, he puts a different spin on it every time.
And also, you know, when they're told to go out there and put a TV match on, you know, 10-minute matchup, yeah, you got to go through all your normal repetition. But when he goes into the matches, and it's the same with Cena and Orton that we've seen lately, when they get that longevity, when they're given 20 to 30-minute matches, you see a lot more of what they can actually do. And that's one of the things that I like about Brian is that he'll put a lot more out there. But one thing that you did mention was about his charisma. I mean, just look at him. He is so happy to be out there doing what he's doing. Go back to the week before TLC when they had all the champions lined up in the ring so that they could have Cena and Orton stare each other down. The fans were chanting Daniel Bryan. What was he doing? He had the biggest smile on his face. He was loving every second of it because he's admitted on several interviews he doesn't want to be that huge big star. He doesn't want that publicity. But for the fans to react that way without him provoking them to try and get a reaction, that put a smile on his face. It's one of those things. I don't know. You can't really explain it. It was just awesome. But
yeah, I mean, I could go on and on. I've said like 10 things that I like about him just then, but I mean, like,
but he's a hard worker. You know, he'll go out there and give you great quality matches every time that he's been out there. You know, I'm willing to let go of the mediocre mic skills or whatever, however you want to classify it.
I think he has adequate mic skills. I don't think he's mediocre.
I mean, however you want to classify it. he's one of those guys. He's a great technical wrestler. He's fast. He's energetic. He gets the crowd going. He gets them into it. And
he's everything that why I like him so much is he's everything that I personally like about wrestling. Like, he fits into my taste like extremely well. Like, I like technical minded guys with dynamic striking, and he's a technical minded guy. He does a lot of technical shit with some dynamic striking, and he takes a couple of big high spots in match, and that's what I like. I like dynamic striking, and I like a guy who's gonna get snug with another dude, and I like a guy who's gonna do some technical shit. That's like exactly what I like out of wrestling.
And that's one of those
snug.
And that's one of those things that I can understand that some people might not be into him because he's not what they particularly want. I think that's one of the hardest things is that some of the fans don't know what their style is, what they like to see. It's like, do you want to support a wrestler who's only known for good speaking skills, and then he goes into the ring and puts on an okay match every week, or do you want a guy who's okay on the mic and can give you a great matchup? You
also still have those people.
I think there is a. I'm sorry, good.
You still have those people who also think out there that he's small too,
and that's fine. But I think time has proven again and again that not the biggest guys can put on really great matches.
Yeah.
Look at Rey Mysterio. Look at Eddie Guerrero.
And I think just stupid ass people have problems because he's they call it internet darling, or hey man, he was popular in what they call the indies. I never watched that shit. And people just hate it because of that stuff, and that's just ignorant.
Well, yeah, but he was obviously loved on the internet for a reason, and now it's starting to show through.
Because he's gonna kick your fucking head in.
Well, yeah, he could, but
I think my personal list of like check boxes, he checks off the most checks in like what I personally like, and to be quite honest, I think he offers a little something for everybody. He's got good striking, he's got good technical shit, he can fly. Like, what else do you want? He at least like half circles in like everything on the box. You know what I mean? Like, he does the most things.
He's a ladies'
well,
man.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, beards are in right now. He has got the beard. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of qualities that we can see in Daniel Bryan.
Also a lot of qualities that we see in Daniel right here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope they're good qualities at least.
Sorry, I know like some people kind of like get turned off when we go on and on about Bryan, but we were provoked this time.
Yeah, we were asked specifically,
poked the bear,
what do we see? But thank you very much for the question. We do appreciate it. Last question coming to us from 6-Star Criminal, saying, if you remember from a few weeks ago, I mentioned that Nikki Bella wanted my D. Well, I have an update for you guys. I recently caught her staring at me through the camera on one of the recent shows. If this isn't enough evidence, then I don't know what is. On a more serious note, I really like the way you guys incorporated video into the podcast.
Thank you.
It really brings a completely new element into it, and I certainly think that it's best for business. If you do continue it in the future, I can't wait to see Doug and Tyler's reactions to Total Divas, because we all know Danny Boy is too scared to watch one of the best shows to ever air on any television network. Also, I think TNA is definitely moving in the right direction with the good shows they've been putting out the past few weeks. What's your guys' opinions on the product right now? So thank you for the question.
They're
I
in
don't
a
know why you're
force.
calling me out like that.
Well, first of all, you're correct. Daniel's scared of a lot of things.
Yes. And
So he's afraid.
And also, I
Giant
guess there was
alligators
proof
coming
that
to
she's
eat
staring
me.
at your D.
She wants it, dude.
You better give it to her.
I don't know about all that. I just know that Daniel's afraid.
I'm not afraid of
Don't
that.
roll your eyes. Don't roll your eyes.
Not afraid of that show.
He's going to get that on
I don't want to
DVD.
watch it.
You do. Your girlfriend likes it.
She does.
And that means you
And
should
that's
like
fine.
it.
She can like it all she wants.
TNA, I think they're in a forced rebuilding process. And it's really still not very good. I think that they've had like a chance to maybe do something drastic to change the product up. And in a way they have, because they've let all their guys who cost them significant money go.
Millions of dollars.
But I still don't think they've still seemed to like want to take guys who came. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say like they only want to take guys from WWE, because MVP has been gone from the Fed for a while, and he most recently with New Japan. But still, it's like they don't want to make their own stars, or they don't want to give guys like the exposure, which I guess they're kind of trying to do with Magnus. They're kind of trying to do with EC3. They're trying to do with Rockstar Spud, but I don't think any of those guys, with the exception of maybe EC3, is a guy that you could build your company around. I think Magnus is a good talker, but I don't think he's great in the ring. Maybe he'll come around.
EC3.
I think EC3 is their pet project for the future, which maybe he'll pay off, maybe he won't. But I mean, like,
Derek Bateman.
I don't think the MVP thing makes any fucking sense to me. I think it's bad storytelling. Like, I don't know how someone could buy themselves into that company and get that power.
Hey, he's the guy
against
who
her.
just signs in or signs a contract, but you're going to be in this role, and you're going to
Like, he's an authoritative role who's going to book himself in like main events and stuff, and that's weird. It's weird. It's weird storytelling. Like, what? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then you bring in the Wolves, you don't have them wrestle. Like, apparently since they've been there, they haven't wrestled. I mean, it's just weird. Like,
bullshit.
I don't know, and that's just a weird group anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, yeah, maybe long term EC3 is going to pan out. Maybe Magnus will turn it around. Maybe Spud. I mean, maybe they're playing for the long run here, but I feel like they're not making the right changes. They're making some changes, but the changes they're making now are stuff they already should have done that they're doing way too late. And then I think they're making the wrong changes at the wrong time still. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, like, I have trouble that it's saying it's even a forced like rebuilding process, because maybe they just let themselves get to this point knowing that they were going to have to rebuild from scratch, but they didn't rebuild from scratch, like, in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like,
If this doesn't work, you think they'll be sinking?
I mean,
I don't know. I think they have a lot of problems still, man. I mean, like,
they still have a long way to go. You know, they've got to sort of refocus on the X division. I felt like that was something that sort of set them apart. I don't know. I haven't watched it enough to really decide. All I know is that every time I do watch it, I just get pissed off every time I see Dixie Carter. And it's something that we've talked about in the past, where it's not boo heat, it's go away heat, where it's just like, I do not want to see you on my screen. I don't want to hear you talk, kind of stuff. Like, I don't want to have to deal with Dixie Carter. And the fact that she parades herself around and Rockstar Spud is, you know, hot on her heels.
I sort of like Rockstar Spud, though.
Yeah.
I think he's good for his role, but he's like,
Well, yeah.
he's good for his role, but he's overused in that role. Like,
Yeah.
they focus on him too much.
Yeah.
Like, just speaking of overused, like, this past week MVP talked like how many fucking times?
I don't know. Didn't get to see
That's
it.
not a fucking change. Your whole show is like, I don't know. He talked like in 3 different segments. MVP did.
In a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, well. It's like Dixie Carter all over again.
And I don't dislike MVP.
Like their
I'm just saying it's like
televised,
not a good role for him.
Like
you
their
know?
televised pay-per-view where they had the 30-minute opening talk segment. Like, just, it was too much for that one. But whatever.
I mean,
don't
people
know.
talk about WWE having long-winded intros, 15 minutes. Yeah, but they've got a lot. They've really had a sea change in the way they book their Raws. Like, there's
Yeah.
a lot of wrestling content
Yeah.
on a weekly basis. Like, they give matches time every fucking week.
Mm-hmm. They had their
It's not
filler
the-
matches, but they've been doing a good job. They've been doing better because I think when they first went to 3 hours, they were like, oh, we have to actually fill this up. Like, we can't go, you know, and then we can't go this many matches and then have this many backstage segments, because that got old really quick. But like you mentioned, they are having longer matches to help take into some of that time. And by doing that, you're giving these guys more ring time, which allows them to hone in on their skills and put on greater matches. And I think it's been, I want to say it's been for the better, because it's helping the guys who are in the ring.
Well, then the fans just like the fans lose interest.
The fans get drawn out. They
But
get
it's
worn out.
The same fans that are like, this is boring. This is too much. Like, are the same people who were bitching last year about not enough wrestling on your wrestling show. Not enough wrestling on your wrestling show. You get a fucking wrestling match and you don't have the fucking attention span to pay attention. Decide what you want. These people don't know what they fucking want. They just want to be rebellious for the sake of being rebellious. They say one thing, and when they get it, they don't want that anymore. They want what they used to
They
have.
saw what happened the night after WrestleMania.
I think it's fucking
thought
cool.
it was cool, and said, we can do that.
Hey, I'm going to chant what I want. This is funny.
Yeah. Oh. There you go. But yeah, TNA, they still have a ways to go. Still have a lot of things that they need to improve.
I mean, it looks like they're going to give Joe the big push, but I don't think he's going to lead anywhere. I think they're going to keep the belt on Magnus, which I don't necessarily think is a mistake because you already picked the guy, so you got to kind of stick with him, give him a chance to make something of himself.
Yeah.
But I feel like another shot with Joe that's not going to work out is going to be like the death of Joe. Like, what the fuck does he even mean anymore? That dude is super talented.
Nothing.
Joe doesn't mean jack shit, and Joe's fucking awesome. Joe could be like the face of your company. Joe could be your fucking company, but he doesn't mean shit because they devalue the fuck out of him.
Yep.
I mean, Aries is cool and he's doing good work, but I mean, like, it's kind of lost in the sea of shit, you know? Like, I mean, I don't know. They got a lot of problems. Like, they got a lot of guys there I like, but they got a lot of problems.
Yep. So there you go. Whew, what a show. So thank you everyone for the questions. I think this has been our longest episode ever.
Or in a while.
Yeah. But we do thank everyone for the questions. Thank you all for the
I'm
feedback.
crashing from all that candy, by the way.
Uh-oh. It's going to be a fun ride home.
You little bitch.
Yes.
So don't forget to submit your questions on our YouTube page, WNS Video, also our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
Check us out on Beyond Pod by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast. And we're on
Then
Twitter.
you just if you're going to do Beyond Pod, then you go with Stitcher and then leave Twitter to me. You shouldn't break up the
I do what I want.
No, you do it.
Okay, I'll take Stitcher.
You do that in Stitcher, then I'll do Twitter because you're breaking up like the district. Don't you fucking do that to me? That's not me, Kyle.
Okay, I'll do that.
Well, if you're going to
You're
do that,
breaking
I'll
up
do
the
Beyond
delivery
Pod.
systems.
do Beyond Pod, Stitcher, and Player.fm.
Player.fm.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll do Twitter.
you can find us on Stitcher by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast. Is it also WNS or just Wrestling News Source Podcast?
Wrestling News Source Podcast.
And
For all of
Player.fm by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
A little more enthusiasm.
By searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
By searching.
If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at WNS Podcast. Shut up, let me do my fucking plugs. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at WNS Podcast. The main site is at WN Source. Daniel is at WNS_Daniel. Tyler is at Tyler_Aber. Go wish him a congratulations on his engagement.
He's not going to check it anyway.
He's not going to tweet. But,
I might get on there and be like, yo, that's it.
Tyler's like CM Punk. He's got to have 1 million followers before he can tweet.
It's pretty important.
But maybe I'll get back. If I don't care if people want me on or not. But I may get on.
I would like you to come back on.
The only reason I want to get back on is because you guys are on. But
Yay.
I get on there every now and then.
I'll come. Just follow Tyler anyway. Fuck him.
I don't completely quit Twitter. I just get on there every now and then, maybe like twice a month. That sounds bad. I'll get on there more.
I'm gonna get on, and then you're gonna start tweeting. How about that?
I get on there quite frequently now.
Follow Daniel. WNS_Daniel.
I've actually been using it. So
The guy who was like most resistant to it.
I was very resistant. So there you go.
Like we talked about earlier in the podcast, check out our friend John Guerra at nightmareprowrestling.com.
Mhm.
Check out his comic book and his Monday night draws and all his stuff on his website.
Yeah.
And
That's how we're doing it from now on. You're gonna do all the other. I'm gonna do the
Okay.
Twitter.
Okay. Sounds good.
Also,
Eric?
our
Yes.
friend Eric at Asteroid Belt Company. Is it .com? And is this Asteroid Belt Company or /Facebook?
Just search Asteroid Belt Company
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah, he does good work. Check out our podcast belts on our pictures on our Facebook site. So
Yeah. So there you go.
And yeah, all you people who wanted the video, not enough of you guys watched it, so we're not doing it ever again
Until we do the next
until we do the next.
until we do the
Yeah.
next
It's
time.
your fault though.
Yeah. Bastards.
No.
So there you go.
Thank you
So
all. We appreciate it.
if you made it this far, thank you very much. We certainly appreciate it. I'm going to go and take a very hot shower.
That
and
one guy who wanted
crash.
like super long episodes, he's happy.
Yes. You better appreciate this, man. So for the podcast crew, I am Daniel Heron.
I am a bear.
I'm Doug.
He's dropped the Tyler. And we will catch you all next week.
Bye bye.